Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, testing. My microphone is not working. Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Hello, can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me? I don't know if my microphone is working. What am I looking? Okay. Hello, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our really big show. Really big. It's a really big show. Really big. Who trying to come up here? Sianka!
Hey.
I forgot I had my retainer in. Hi!
Oh my gosh, you and that retainer.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes I forget to wear it at night because I just be too tired to put it in, and so I have to wear it during the day.
Right. I got my Game of Thrones. It says
What does it say?
not today. Redistricting,
Not today. Listen. Oh,
Game of Thrones style.
it's a mess. It's a mess they've created because we'll get into it, but it's supposed to, the way we had been doing it in the past worked, and then somebody came in and decided to throw a wrench into the system because he wants the Iron Throne for himself.
He wants the Iron Throne for himself.
It's supposed to be every 10 years, after the census, after the US Census.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, it's now whenever the hell they want to do it, which is a problem. It's a problem.
And guess who
So,
took over the Iron Throne? This person did.
oh, look at that. Where was that at? Was that like Universal Studios or something?
No.
I don't go nowhere. Please.
No, this was at.
You know I don't go nowhere.
He's so funny. That is too funny. No, there's this place called Group Therapy.
Okay.
It's called Group Therapy, and
Wait a minute. Did you say gloop?
Group,
Group. Oh.
not Gloop, not Gloop.
I can't hear. I don't go places. I'm uncultured. I don't eat in front of people.
Stop! You are so cultured. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so group therapy.
Yes, Group Therapy. It has these. It has too much in the face. Back up some. All right. So you look beautiful, by the way, Ayana. You look
Ew.
gorgeous.
I thought I would do a little something different, but it's irritating me. You know I get hot.
Yeah. Welcome to the club of menopause,
This is
pre-menopause, post-menopause, all kind of menopause.
Perimenopause.
Pause.
I can't have things around my neck. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like I just start
Yeah.
sweating. Listen, I was at I was at a store yesterday. Oh, I was at Ulta. And I'll just tell the story very quickly. And I'm like, I'm just sweating. It's so hot in there, you know, from all the light. They have like 1 million lights in these makeup stores. Like, please they need to have hours for people who cannot do lights.
Yeah, you need to turn it like at least like
I was sweating.
to have it, oh yeah, now you can see my shirt. That's better.
I was sweating so much because of all the lights. They have
Yeah.
lights overhead, and then every little makeup thing has lights.
That's lights. It's like let there be light, and it's like okay, we can turn them off now.
Please turn them off. Oh,
We can turn them off. We can give our eyes a break or something.
give my body a break. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
it gets a bit sweaty in certain parts. You know.
It do, and for us women, we go through a lot.
Yes.
And I want to shout out to all the women out there, men too. They go through
I'll go through nothing.
Yeah, they not like whatever, not like what women go through. So shout out to all the women here around the universe, in the universe, outside the universe, within the universe, wherever you are.
Before the universe,
Yes, post universe, pre universe,
in other universes.
and other Andromeda, anywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere, anywhere, everywhere. Yeah, share it all out. I'm gonna share it out too.
I'm gonna share this to anybody. Well, I'm sure to everybody. Everybody should be concerned about this because guess what? Every state now is thinking about redistricting. Every state is bucking their laws, their constitution, their way of doing it, and going, you know what? Maybe we should just redistrict too. Maybe we should do it too. Maybe we should do it too. We should do it too. We do.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a domino effect, and
And they're not doing it based on the size of the population. They're
right.
just doing it to give themselves power. It's supposed to be, the Supreme Court said that the districts at least have to be of mostly equal population size, right?
hmm
Which means that you wait until you find out how many people are living in a freaking district before you do it. Now they're just like, yeah, we don't need to wait. We gave ourselves permission to call a special session.
Right.
We can just redraw these maps.
And it's for the wrong reason.
It's
It's
for
for
the
the
wrong
wrong reason.
And
And
Tuesday is a pretty big day. Yesterday was a big day. Yesterday was Louisiana's partisan primary. which
Mm-hmm.
everybody thought was canceled, but it wasn't. It was the
Oh,
congressional race that was postponed. The congressional
gotcha.
race was postponed because of the redrawing of the maps. Now they have to figure out where everybody is now, who's going to be in what district. We had from our vote counts, we have two candidates from Louisiana who are running for the U.S. House of Representatives whose races have been affected by the Calais decision. And
Mm-hmm.
so I saw one candidate who said, I know you all donated to me because you thought I was in your district. If you want your money back, I'm going to send you information about how to get a refund, which is incredibly sad.
Wow, what a
That's so sad.
gentleman. What a gentleman.
That is a gentleman, but it's like, okay, but you're still running, but yeah, people donated to you because they thought you were in their district and that they would be able to have you as their choice in the primary. And now they don't have that anymore. But I'm sure they probably would still like to support you. But no, good that you want to give them their money back, but that
Right.
sucks that your campaign will probably be losing money because of
Mhm.
this change. And nobody's stepping in to say, hey, it's not like the governor or the state assembly is stepping in and saying here's $5,000 for your campaign because of what you had to give up because we changed
Right.
the district, right? It's just one of those.
Exactly.
Well, sucks to be you right now. Like
I
Beyonce said.
mean, yeah,
Or Rihanna. Was that Rihanna? That was Rihanna.
it's
Sorry.
Rihanna. Yeah.
It's Rihanna.
It, it really, it's really ridiculous. And I never thought in a million years. And I mean, let me go back to what you were saying about the maps, like to figure out who is where. This is why the old saying is so true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Please.
If it ain't broke,
Please,
don't fix
Lord.
it. Just leave it
Oh my
alone.
God. Oh.
Leave it alone.
Why can't people just stick to that?
I don't
If you're
know.
coming into the room, please say hello. Tell us what state you're in, because I want to know if people are from the affected southern states so far. It might move its way up to the north too, but also send your daily heart me to the account to support the account. We really appreciate it. As you can see from our graphic, I mean, thank you, Misty, for the graphic. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, Miss Pam, for filling in as host today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sianka, for being here with me today. Yay! And thank you to everyone in the audience. This is OVC. You know who we are. Our vote counts. Trying to educate the people about voting and about
Yes.
races and campaigning and getting elected and just getting their feet wet. But we thought we would do a special presentation. This is going to serve a dual purpose, right? So we're going to do
Yes.
this TikTok live for people who want to watch it live, but it's also going to be on our YouTube channel. So if you ever want to go back and reference any of the things that we talked about, then you could do that. Our buddy Five.
Oh my gosh. Why?
What's up? What's up, Five? You call yourself the Ivory Gentleman now. I think that is a fitting change there. Uh, if you ever want to reference anything that we talk about, you could always go back to our YouTube channel and watch this video and learn something about redistricting. Redistricting, also known as gerrymandering, also known as the reason why you don't know where you vote. You don't know what district you're in. I don't know how they do it in North Carolina, where you're from, Sianka, but in my district, the Board of Elections sends out a card, a reminder saying, hey, registered voter, you're voting in this district, and this is where you're voting, your polling station is. So please double check before you show up to the wrong place and you get turned away.
You know what? I'm doing that right now. I'm looking it up.
Does North Carolina do something similar, or do they just make you look it up?
Man, North Carolina is like a brain of its own. Like, why? But
I mean,
I'm.
it's some places change at the last minute. I know
Mhm.
some places changed here in Cleveland at the last minute because there's construction going on at some schools, and some schools were shut down. Where I live, the city I live in, some schools were under construction, so they had to combine polling stations at the last minute. And
Mm-hmm.
so people only knew about it the day before. And this was in 2024. I showed up to vote, and it was like a line from the polling place
Right.
all the way down the street. And I'm like, oh, look at all these voters. They showed up to vote for VP Harris. They're like, no, our polling station was closed. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you're
Yeah.
still here. You're still here.
Right. Let me see, because I got to this article here from Wilmington Star News. High Court ruling could end gerrymandering in North Carolina. So I'm gonna take a read on this here. It's very
Okay.
interesting.
So I'm gonna just while she does that, I'm gonna give you guys a little intro to what we're doing. Today we're talking about gerrymandering. There have been so many changes in the last few weeks. AJ, do you have a problem? Would you like to come up and talk to us about it, AJ? What state are you in, AJ?
But you
He's in
better
a north.
behave. You need to
Isn't he
behave.
a northern state, New Jersey or something? AJ, are you in a northern state? Uh, what was I gonna say? Hey everybody, welcome. I hope you are happy to be here. I don't want you guys to scroll past this. We're not doing a candidate town hall today. We're doing a special presentation on gerrymandering, redistricting because of all the changes that have been made lately in various states. We thought we would just hop on here because we are all about voter education and talk about what this is, what redistricting is, gerrymandering, racial gerrymandering, congressional districts, letting people know what changes have been made, what to look out for, how you can help. People are always looking for ways to help. We're going to give you some ways to help. We're going to give you some tools, put in your toolkit to help not only fight back, but to just help other voters understand what's going on. We're all about voter education around here. A more educated voter is a better voter for the country. If you just walk into a polling place blindly and people tell you go red all the way down, go blue all the way down, you don't know why. You don't know why. We're here to tell you why, how that happens, how that benefits whatever party, and maybe you can make a better informed decision when you go for voting, especially for the primaries. Tuesday is a big day for primaries. I'm calling it a Super Tuesday. I don't know what the news is calling it. I think when 6 states have a primary on the same day, that's a Super Tuesday, right? It used to be one day, I think it was 2024, we had like 10 states. States change their primary date every year. It's crazy. That's another thing. They're always making changes and not informing people. Like you have to watch the news or you got to read the newspaper. And I got to keep it real. I don't always do that. So I get my news sometimes from
I don't know about all that. I have to disagree with
Facebook.
that. I have to disagree with that because you're like an encyclopedia. Okay, I do not believe you on that.
I
I
get
had to
my news
interject.
from Facebook. When the news stations post on Facebook,
Hmm.
that's where I get my stories from because it just filters out all of the fluff and the polite.
Yeah.
It gets straight to the point.
It's funny.
I need straight to the point. Okay, I don't need
She want the meat and
witty.
potatoes of it all. Forget about the appetizers. She want the entree.
I don't need the witty banner with the weatherman. I don't need that. I'm sorry. But AJ, hello, welcome to our panel.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. AJ, are you in one of those northern states? Are you in like Virginia
I've
or
been the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania now.
you're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Oh, Pennsylvania. You are in a commonwealth where the judges are
That's a good
appointed.
purple state. That's a good swing state. My vote actually matters when it comes
Really?
to federal elections anyway.
Except your judges are appointed. You don't get to
Locally,
vote for your
it does
judges.
not matter. That's why I'm a registered Democrat. Did you ladies know that? Because
You are
otherwise, you
voting
vote.
on Tuesday, AJ, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you voted early.
I
Have you
don't know who I
voted?
want to vote for. So we got the son of the former mayor, Sharif Street, running. We got this lady running. I think y'all would like her more. What's
Why?
her
She's a
name?
woman.
She's a woman.
Oh, for the love of goodness.
Well, my mom likes her, so that's why I think y'all would like her. I think that's what my mom will vote for. And y'all remind me of my mama. And I tell y'all this all the time. This is why I come up here to argue with y'all, because then I can just log off and I don't got to deal with y'all. I don't want to argue with my mom about politics, but y'all remind me of my mama. So.
AJ, we don't do
that's why I
arguing
come up
on
to
this.
talk to y'all.
AJ, we do not do arguing on this account, sir. We don't.
Stop it.
Are strictly
You done cussed me out
education.
multiple
We're strictly
times.
educational here.
My
We don't do debates. We don't do arguing. How you feel is how you feel on our vote counts.
Right. Educational purposes.
You have some key congressional races in Pennsylvania, Mr. AJ.
Do we?
AJ.
I thought it was more local.
No, you got some congressional races. You got you don't have a governor's race, do you?
I don't think the Senate or the. I thought we was voting for citywide stuff.
No, you have congressional races.
All right, pull it up. Let me know what I'm voting for.
What district are you in, AJ? Do you know?
Actually, too much now.
What did you say?
I think District 4. That's what I saw in the poster earlier.
District 4. Jacob D. Banta. Does that sound familiar? Jacob D. Banta.
It's like 6 of them running, ain't it?
Let's see here.
Look up Sharif Street. I know it's Sharif Street and Stanton.
Yeah.
Stanton is the woman. I don't remember her full name, but it's Stanton. That's her last name.
Yeah.
I think I'm between those two.
AJ, all but one of Pennsylvania's 17 U.S. House District representatives are running for re-election. All but one. In the 4th district, you have Madeline Dean, who is the incumbent. She's a Democrat. And you got Aurora Stusky.
She'll probably win hers. That's the county. Now, I might be registered up there, depending where I got my address at. I don't know if I updated it.
Pause for a second, Ariana. How many people are we bringing up? Just one. How many? Because we have another person.
Let me see. I'm a Google.
We can bring up another. We got a Republican-esque person. We can bring up. But in Pennsylvania, the governor's race is on, as well as the lieutenant governor.
All right, he's running for the 3rd congressional district.
Yes, Josh Shapiro is your governor. Austin Davis is your lieutenant governor. I'm voting for Alice Stanford. You know why?
Doesn't he have some type of touching out? Never mind.
You know what?
I'm voting for Alice Stanford, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, that's her name, Alice Stanford.
During the pandemic, when Trump was playing around with the vaccine, she was out there giving it to the people in the neighborhoods. She recruited people to help her.
Oh yeah, that's what my grandma voting for.
I love her.
That's the one who gave me my COVID shot.
And I like Chris Brad, but I'm voting for her. It's time to put more women. We are more detail oriented. We pay attention.
Chris Brad was out there. He got his up when my close friend was unalive when he was out campaigning on Vernon Road. My young friend.
He is in our neighborhood.
When he was out there
Do
campaigning.
either of you know how your maps are drawn in Pennsylvania?
I don't.
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
It's probably by the state legislature. Most states are.
No, most states are not.
I don't like
Pennsylvania is drawn by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
Okay. I don't like
some states are drawn by the courts.
Okay. I don't like Sharif Street, by the way.
Wow,
I didn't like his daddy, and I don't
daddy.
like him.
See, I knew that's what you was going to say. It's hard to beat the sins of your father. Even though the Bible say, the son shall not bear the sins of the father.
It's true.
So do the two of you know what gerrymandering is?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know how they draw the maps.
Okay, do you know the history of it? Do you know where it began, how it began?
No, but you can tell us. Tell us the history.
Okay.
If you feel like it. She
So,
laughing.
gerrymandering started in the 1800s. The governor of Massachusetts, the governor of Massachusetts, in 1812, wanted to draw the map, the congressional map, to benefit his political party. His political party
Okay.
was the Republican Democrat Party, or
Mm-hmm.
Democrat Republican Party, however you want to say
Right.
it. And he drew the district to look like a salamander.
Okay.
His name was Jerry, Elbridge Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
And so he drew the map to look like his district to look like a salamander. And so they called it gerrymandering.
Gotcha.
That was in 1812.
Mm-hmm.
That's how gerrymandering became a part of popular culture. And it's been a thing forever.
Wow.
And in 1964, rather, the SCOTUS ruled that the districts have to be at least of roughly equivalent population numbers. Racial gerrymandering is unconstitutional, but partisan gerrymandering is just fine. So you can't draw the maps based on race, but if you want to draw it to favor your political party, it's fine. What's the problem with that?
That's a huge problem. Because I know
AJ?
the whole goal is to go ahead, Magga.
No, I was going to ask both of you, AJ, and please vote.
You go
You
first,
can answer
Magga.
that.
Let's see what you
I
know.
would say if you got a problem with it, we need to change the Constitution. Real quick answer. Go ahead, ma'am.
I swear.
Why is it constitutional? Do you know why it's constitutional, AJ?
It goes against the equal protection laws.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go against. It's
So you
not.
can't. No, you can't cry about racism in one direction and then say we draw on this district because we need all black people in there.
Okay. Well, no, actually,
That's
what
not
the
true.
That's hypocritical. That's a double
I'm gonna let
standard.
her tell you, but I was gonna just simply say they're drawing the map so that our votes don't count. That's what I think they're trying to do.
Well, specifically, I want to know if people understand why the Supreme Court said that it's okay to do partisan gerrymandering. Why is it constitutional? Why is it constitutionally allowed?
I forget the words because something about they don't think race is an issue anymore or something to that effect.
No, it's allowed because the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that federal courts lack the authority to regulate it. It's a non-justiciable political question reserved to the states.
Well, I thought they defined it though. There's three ways you can still have these majority districts, but you gotta meet the three.
Yes, but they
thresholds.
specifically said that they do not have the authority to regulate it because it's a matter left up to the states. The states know what they're doing. It's a political question. They don't wade in on political questions.
That's overall though, man. They're very when it comes to a state's constitution, they very rarely rule against the state Supreme Court.
But they also don't get involved in politics.
Thank you.
Which is interesting considering Bush v. Gore in what year was that? 2000?
Yeah.
They said they don't get involved in politics.
Mm-hmm.
They have the political question doctrine and says that partisan map drawing is inconsistent with democratic principles, but they cannot intervene.
Right.
They cannot intervene.
You think, I want to say this to the chat as well. Do you think I think we should pack the court. Not pack it, but I think we should at least, if either add 3 or 4 seats.
And you know what's interesting? So, there's nothing in the Constitution that says we can't have 30 seats on the Supreme Court.
That's a lot.
At some point, the Senate just decided that 9 would be the number. Not that 9 is in the Constitution. They just decided that's what they wanted. It could be 12. It could be 30. It could be 5. It could be 3.
Right.
It could be 3.
But since they have 6, I say either put us 3 or make it 4. Since they want to play games and play around, when Barack Obama tried to put his pick on it, they didn't even hold a vote on it, which I think is disgusting. But it shows you how disgusting Republicans are.
And what do you guys think about that? What do you think about the fact that nobody really fought back when the Republicans said, hey, we're not going to hold
I
Hold on, she got a call. She got a
mhm.
call, but while she's doing that,
I
make
I
sure
seen this
y'all
real
tap the
fast though.
live, share the
I
live
didn't get a
out.
call. I was trying to do something to somebody asked us to modify the boxes. There it is.
Oh, okay, there it is. It is
I
not.
didn't know
It's
what I was
18
doing.
people in here. Please tap the screen. AJ, tap the screen because I know you ain't tapping. I know you're not tapping.
I'm not.
Please.
I'm not tapping. I was rolling up,
Okay, well,
but I
please tap,
will
please,
repost
sir.
and add it to my story, which is more important.
Okay, tap, sir. Tap, sir.
Yes, I love him. First of all, his voice is cute. I love your
Who
voice.
changed? Oh, you know what?
Who changed?
Thank you, Buttermel.
Hmm.
One of the problems we're
Hey,
seeing is
butter.
that all of these changes are
Hey,
being made at the federal level, and the president is doing things at the federal level, and nobody is checking him.
Thank you.
When
See
Mitch
this,
McConnell made up that rule about you can't have a confirmation hearing for a Supreme Court justice during an election year, he literally just made that up.
but what did he do with Amy Coney Barrett? Because they had already started voting.
Exactly.
send my dollar
Oh, but
back.
he
That was
just
a
made
hack.
it up.
Send my dollar back. That
It's
was
not
a
in the
Since they did that
Constitution.
twice, it's
hack.
our turn. I say we put 3 or 4 seats on the Supreme Court. What do you think if it was 6 and 6? We would never have a verdict because they will always vote the party line. You think we need 7? We should put that.
It has to be an odd number so that they can
Yeah.
have a majority
So then
rule.
we need to add 4 seats.
So what do you guys think what do you all think about gerrymandering? Period. What do you think about just do you think it's fair to draw districts to favor a
No,
political party?
not at
You know what
all.
I know what I think we should do? I think we should hire a non-political commission. We should pass a law when we get the
Some
chance
states
that
do
is
that.
is fair and is drawn fairly.
Some states do that. Some states
Already.
have
Yeah.
a not bipartisan. Is it
Yes, bipartisan.
bipartisan?
Thank you.
Some states do a bipartisan commission that's
Mhm.
citizens. It's like made up of Republicans and independents and Democrats,
Ain't-
and they will draw the maps, but it ends up becoming political anyway.
yeah, they
And
go to the court.
Well,
but
not
Absolutely
only that.
stupid.
it seems to be it makes the races the most fair. Those races in those states seem to be the most fair because they don't have one party drawing it, or they don't have judges who are from one party drawing the map.
Correct.
It's people from
It's like,
all walks of the political life
you know,
drawing the
you
map.
sound like a conservative right now, ma'am. Right? Because on the
No,
contrary,
What?
no,
hold on.
no, absolutely not,
Well,
Let me
AJ.
just get this out
Let
real
Buttermilk
quick,
chime
buddy.
in.
You know I'm not long winded. So
I
Oh, I
y'all,
know.
might as well
so
charge my phone.
y'all was talking about packing. I wanted to say this a minute ago. I think you brought that up. Please vote
I
packing.
sure did.
All right, you was talking about packing the Supreme Court, but
Yes.
also packing districts. Cracking is also a what's the word I'm looking for?
Cracking and packing is what gerrymandering
Yeah,
is.
They are both
yeah,
tactics, sir.
right. They're the two opposed strategies, but
Yes,
they're both gerrymandering. But
yes.
the Democrats like to pack, the Republicans like to crack.
Like to crack.
I
Huh?
swear to goodness.
You're a
I
comedian.
can't do it.
Is he a comedian?
It's
He
true.
is. He's
Understand.
a whole
It's
comedian.
true, but here's the thing.
I
Here's the thing
understand
though.
what this shit is, right? And Democrat states been doing this for a long time. For example, all the New England states, Illinois,
But they not. That's what my
Hawaii.
point is,
Yes, they
AJ.
do.
Okay,
Yes, they do,
let
buddy.
Buttermilk wade in. Buttermilk, what do you have to say?
So this is what I'm saying. That even if we do a so-called fair districting, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That you 9 times out of 10 are still going to end up with Democratic majority districts because um for the state as a whole, because most big cities
Mhm.
that where the people are, because as we know, land does not vote.
Right.
So once you redistrict where the people are, you're most likely going to still end up with majority Democratic districts. So then you can't go around and say, "Oh, it's not fair." It is. It is still fair.
That's
I
up
just
north,
got
not
more
down south.
people on my side.
You know what I think? I think more people lean left than they do right. When you
That's
look
what
at,
I'm saying.
yeah. Hmm.
Well, in some states you have to vote with a party. You can't walk in and say, "I'm only gonna. I need a nonpartisan ballot."
Right. Especially
Like in
with the
Ohio, you have to
primaries.
choose
I about to say, didn't they
Libertarian,
say somebody's about to
Republican.
do that?
I was saying that earlier, and that's
They
why
need
I'm
to
a
stop.
registered.
They need to
That's
stop.
why I'm a registered Democrat because of my local election.
here in the state of Texas, you can go in. So I can go to any polling site, and I tell them, do I need? They'll ask you, are you voting Republican or are you voting Democrat? I can, as a registered Democrat, I can get a Republican ballot, which I have done before in my district. So
Okay.
Yes,
mean,
you can get whatever party ballot you want, but
right?
you can't get a ballot that has all the candidates on it.
No,
Right,
Right.
we can in
no,
If you
Maryland.
no,
make the decision
yeah,
to vote
no,
Democrat, you have to vote Democrat. You have to
yeah.
Yeah.
vote
You have to do
Republican, or
right,
you have to
right,
vote
right,
Right.
right.
Oh,
Libertarian in
for
Ohio.
primaries. We talking
In the
for
primary,
primaries?
yes,
Yes,
Okay.
primaries.
yes,
Yes. For primaries,
yeah.
and also too, y'all. We're
But
talking
when y'all
about
gerrymander
gerrymandering.
these districts, but the primaries is what matters, not the general election.
Who is
Correct.
Take, take,
y'all?
Well,
take,
Republicans do
the
gerrymandering
primary
take.
matters.
too.
Can we
The
take
primary
Philadelphia?
matters.
Take
Okay,
One at a
Philadelphia for
time. One at a
okay.
right.
time. One
Let
at
me
a
know when I'm
time,
finished.
please.
Let
One
me
at
know
a
when
Right.
I'm finished.
time. AJ, you said take Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? How do you think you could break up Philadelphia so that it's Republican led? How?
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm not saying it should be Republican
That's
led.
my point. That it's not gerrymandered. That's who's in Philadelphia. Democrats.
Exactly. Hmm.
The
It's a
rest is
blue state.
we
Normally it's
talking about.
blue, but lately, with Donald Trump, with all his con artist moves, with all his propaganda, he's managed to flip a lot of, I'll say, hateful people into thinking they should vote red.
So let me ask
I
Buttermilk.
don't. I don't think my
Let
state
me
is
ask Buttermilk and
gerrymandered.
Black because they're new on the panel. New, but what do you guys think about the way your state does redistricting? I'll ask Black first. So how it used to be is that every 10 years with the census, the whatever however the state goes in to redraw its map, some states use judges, some use the commissions, some do the General Assembly. How do you feel about this suddenly out of the blue, the way states are doing redrawing in your state?
Well, that's where this fight began. Anyway, I'm in the state where this began, where this fight actually began.
Yep.
Yes.
So when we talk about the Texas legislature is who is responsible for drawing the district, and Texas did this multiple times after the census. When Jasmine Crockett was actually in the state legislature, if y'all remember, there was a group of Democrats that fled the state
Yeah.
I
because of the
remember.
redistricting that was happening here. So the Republicans have a pattern here in the state of Texas of doing that, and that's why I tell people, here in the state, I mean, they gerrymandered the maps. I mean, where it's it's not a what happens here in the state of Texas, though. I think that the Republicans overplayed their hands here in the state of Texas, because now the way the redistricting is, they put a lot more battlegrounds in place than they thought that they would have when
And I
it came
think
to the redistricting.
exactly,
And
exactly.
and with no, but they didn't do it. They didn't think that they did that.
No,
They didn't think that they did it that way.
they count on y'all not
No,
showing up to vote
no.
because
They didn't think that they
keep
did it
it a
that
being.
way.
We don't show up to vote.
But they did.
So
They
even
you have no
my bad. I
you
cut you
have
off. Go ahead and
no
finish.
right.
And I'll
You
let
have
it
no argument. You have no argument with me
I
when
do
it
have an
comes
argument.
to our voting patterns here in the state of Texas, because the voting patterns here in the state of Texas, especially black people, black men in particular, is diabolical here
Okay.
in the state of Texas.
And I,
So you get no pushback with me in regards to that. But also too, when we talk about gerrymandering as a whole, whether or not it's
real
democratic
quick before I
gerrymandering
forget,
or
I'm gonna tell
whether
you why that
it's
might be good for us,
well,
but
AJ,
you know.
let him
no, let me
finish.
finish, AJ.
All right. Jeez,
When
Louise.
we talk about gerrymandering, whether it's Democrat or Republican, if your policies are good enough, you should not need to gerrymander.
Thank
If
you.
your policies are bringing positive results to your communities, you should not need to gerrymander districts. It
Exactly,
just shows that you are a coward when you do so.
exactly, Democrats.
So
Listen,
gerrymandering and redistricting are not the same thing, right?
exactly.
Well,
Redistricting is fine.
when you gerrymander, when you're redistricting and you're gerrymandering to do the redistricting.
Can I say why it might be good for us now, though? This is the positive outlook on this thing. I know y'all say, "Oh, they taking our voter rights. They attacking the voters' rights."
Sure,
But I
say,
say
and
it
then you
might
let
be
Buttermilk
good
talk.
now that we have a slighter majority in more districts rather than a major majority in one or two districts.
Who
Right?
is who is
All we
we?
have to do
What?
is vote.
But we don't
Negroes,
though.
black people.
Because
Oh,
they've
you mean
washed no,
black
but we
voters?
don't though. But we don't though because
Are
they've
you
washed our votes out. They've washed
are
our
you
votes out. It
are
should
you
They
not
sure though?
take
If we
AJ.
just show up to vote, because
No,
I read an
AJ.
article, Black. Hold on,
No.
I was trying to. Oh, I was trying to go. So real quick, I'm not long winded like you are. So I read an article that said that they pack these districts because of our voter turnout. So we can make sure we get a representative. Because otherwise, if we're just a 51, 60% majority in the district, we're not gonna win because we don't vote like that.
Who is
But
us?
if
You're a Republican?
us
He's talking
Negroes,
about black
black
people.
people,
He's talking
Okay.
about
yeah,
black
black
voters.
people. But if we're 75 to 80, 90% of a district, then yeah, we're gonna win, of course. You ain't gotta think about it. That's a safe seat. And then you know what happens? These politicians don't even gotta worry about fucking running. All they gotta do is worry about winning their incumbent seats. This guy in Memphis, let's take an example in Memphis. This white guy, Steve Cohen, been in office for 20 plus years. The homicide rate is out of pocket. Now, this black woman, Charlotte Burgum, is projected to win the seat. Is what you think is a better representative, this black queen or that white man that been in power for 20 years that hasn't done shit for the
Black
city?
The
queen.
It
people, the
depends on her
people
Always the
decide.
black
policies.
Man, my
queen.
Listen,
brain.
listen,
One
Always.
listen.
at a
Hold on,
It
hold on,
time.
depends on
hold
her
on, hold
policies.
on,
One
hold
at a
on.
time.
The people decide who they
It
want to
can't get no
represent
worse.
them. Listen,
Thank
AJ.
you.
The people
People.
decide who they want to represent them in the general election by either voting or not voting. It doesn't matter the color of the person who wins the general or the primary. It's the people, because these candidates are popularly elected, it's up to them to get enough voters into the booth. It's up to them, but it's also up to the voters to get their asses to the polls. Now, whoever wins, wins. However, states have made voting itself so cumbersome for voters that there are people who don't even bother. They have used tools such as
Stop it.
going
It is
from
not
no,
that
no,
hard
no,
to vote.
listen,
It's
because
not that
this
hard to
has
vote,
been
man.
listen, because many authors have written about this, about the embattled right to vote, about how states have used voter ID laws, cumbersome registration laws, disenfranchising people who have been convicted of certain offenses, and they change the goalpost on that one all the time. My state in particular
Polling
went from
stations, closing
requiring
polling stations.
closing polling stations, moving polling
Yes.
stations. My state went from you can use a utility bill to vote to you have to have a state issued ID to
Right.
vote. And a
What's
lot
your
of
state,
people
Ayana?
didn't have state, I'm in Ohio.
Okay.
And a lot of people didn't have IDs and they certainly couldn't pay for them either. And so when they
Oh my
changed that
goodness.
rule, a lot of people just didn't vote
You
that
see how
year.
I have no sympathy for
And that's
somebody
Which
who
makes
got
it a
$30
which makes
and
it a
not
poll
and not
tax.
Buttermilk, go ahead.
Ho.
Buttermilk,
30
Buttermilk.
goddamn dollars. You gonna get ID? You need an ID to do anything else. Something
No,
else.
AJ.
You don't
No,
If
drink
you're
because
no liquor?
homeless,
my,
if you're
You don't
homeless,
drink
if you're
no liquor?
homeless.
Listen,
You don't buy no
back.
tobacco?
Listen.
Anyway,
No.
let
You
Buttermilk
don't
go.
drive a
Buttermilk, I
car?
want you to talk.
Mute
I
him.
want you to
He
talk
ain't gonna
about your
stop.
state, Buttermilk. You're in Maryland.
I am. And I personally also feel like that from the beginning that we should not be doing the redistricting now. That is something that happens every 10 years. And that's how it should stay.
Right.
However, we can't sit back and do nothing.
Exactly.
If they are going to be doing it, then we gotta even out the playing field. And if we're gonna make sure this doesn't turn into Handmaid's Tale, which I've been watching the last few days. So,
Girl, wait, honey.
so
Ooh.
So if
Your
we don't,
state was doing. Your state wanted to do something, didn't it? Your governor wanted to redraw the maps.
he did, and then there were Democratic leaders here who said they didn't want to do it. That it became a fight. And like I
W
said, I
go.
don't necessarily disagree because again, wrong is wrong. As my mom used to say, two wrongs don't make a right. So if it's wrong for them to do it, it's wrong for us to do it. But she also said, don't bring a knife to a pew pew fight.
Right.
So,
That part.
like that's where we're at with it, right? So, but I need to go back to AJ really quickly. That you have, matter of fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and he was like, he works overtime so that basically he can have an abundance of money, not that he needs the money, and that he doesn't understand why people will work overtime just to survive. Okay, so I said, hold on, sir, your white privilege is showing. And right now, your privilege is showing, AJ. If you think people just got $30 just laying around, when literally I spent that yesterday on bread and milk so my children can eat.
Wow.
My last 30 fucking dollars. So my children can eat.
White,
That was the
white
wait a minute, let me
privilege weird.
finish.
White privilege weird, man.
I didn't say white privilege on you. I said your privilege. I said your privilege because we are also privileged people in America.
Right.
Okay? Because there are people in other countries who could not fathom having $30 at all.
Exactly.
And yet you feel like $30 is something easy to get and we shouldn't be like, that shouldn't be a big deal. For some people it is. It is absolutely the difference between life and death for a lot of people. And for you to be like, I mean, I don't have no sympathy for somebody who can't go back. Baby, you know how long I have went without having an ID? And it didn't even dawn on me until it was time to vote. And I was like, oh shit. Or I got to go somewhere. And I'm like, I forgot. I don't even have my ID because I don't use it on a regular basis.
Right.
I only use it for when I need it. And then it was like, oh my God, I forgot I needed to go get this ID. Now, especially now, we got to make an appointment to go to the DMV.
It's true. Yep. Because they probably gutted it. Because they gut every damn thing.
No, you
Not
don't.
to mention, it's also not to
You can order
mention,
that shit online.
not to
Not
mention,
if you
it's a
still
poll
need to
tax.
redo if I move from North Carolina to Maryland and I need a Maryland ID, I'm going to have to retake my picture. So I can't do it online.
Right.
Not to mention, it's a poll tax, y'all. When
It
we
is.
look at that, that is a poll tax.
Yes.
And
Tell him
to
how
me-
back in the day they had to count the jelly beans in a jar or something. Guess it. He don't know none of that stuff because he's young.
And to mention about because I'm in North Carolina, but in the southern states, period, back then people didn't have birth certificates because where they put the birth at in the Holy Bible, in the family Bible,
Right.
so they couldn't produce a birth certificate. They didn't have IDs at the time, so people who were in the older age, the older generation, had to catch up with us
Right.
to get IDs and things of that nature. They've been doing this for a long time, and we thinking like, and they give us this sad story. Well, we need to know if you're who you are, who you say you are, knowing good and well they were suppressing our vote.
Right.
See, when I went to go on my cruise, right, I had put
Mm-hmm.
in weeks before for my birth certificate because I was going to the islands and that's all I needed to be on the cruise was the birth
Mm-hmm.
certificate because I didn't have my passport. And I put in weeks. I mean, I did it online, sent it out, never got it. I'm calling. Where's my birth certificate? They said, look, we did get it. We don't know what happened, but you could come to DC because I was in North Carolina. I would have to drive to DC to get my birth certificate.
Wow.
Wow.
Because it was they said if they redid it on the online system, it was going to take another 2 weeks. Well, I had to be on the damn boat in a week.
You shouldn't have waited that long.
I did you not just hear I did it prior to, and it didn't come.
Wow.
So I called again. They said it should be showing up. It still didn't show up. So I'm like, where the hell is my birth certificate? They say, I don't know. There was something wrong with the system. You, in order for you to get it by that time, you would have to come to DC to get it.
Right.
All I'm telling you, AJ, everything ain't cut and dry. I wish it was. I wish we lived in a perfect world, but we don't.
Yeah.
If you wait that close to the voting time to
Be
have
quiet,
to get your
please.
Listen,
We're
AJ,
not getting it.
Oh,
We're
my
not
my
getting it.
mother was born in Virginia in
I'm getting it.
1953. In the state of Virginia, they didn't issue birth certificates. They gave you a card
Yep.
with your information on it. So she wanted to get her U.S. passport. She sent in all of her documents. They told her that the card was not acceptable, that she had to write to the state of Virginia. We were living in Ohio. She had to write to the state of Virginia to have them issue her birth certificate as an actual certificate before she could get her passport. That took weeks. Do you hear me? Weeks.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then on
And
top
you
of
gotta
that,
pay for
my
that too. You
husband,
gotta pay for that too.
So
And
that
it
means
costs
if you
money,
do it,
yes.
that means if you do it in like 2 months in advance, you'll be able to vote.
But the point is,
to that,
they changed the rules for
Okay.
people who have no choice, who have no they don't have any recourse. This is
Oh
what
my
they were
goodness!
born with.
I
This is
can't
what they were
believe y'all can't
given.
get y'all birth certificates right away. I can't believe
Tell
it
that
takes.
to an elderly
Okay,
person.
I
Tell that
can't
to an
AJ,
believe.
elderly
listen.
I
person.
can't believe
AJ,
it
AJ,
takes a
AJ,
few.
listen. Just listen for a
no,
I
second.
can't believe it takes a few
my
weeks.
grandmother is
AJ.
Oh my goodness!
93 years.
Say that, so
AJ, my grandmother is 93 years old. She will be
Thank you.
93 on the 4th of July, God willing.
that's
She
my
was born.
birthday.
Awesome.
Oh, is
Awesome.
it?
Yes, tell her happy birthday, sister.
Yes, you know I
Happy
Oh, that's
will.
birthday,
awesome.
mother.
I'm glad
Hallelujah.
you're doing something good.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
My
Stay
birthday's
on
on Wednesday,
task.
by the way.
On track.
Um, she was born in the midst of Jim Crow in southern Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you take where they did not keep records, especially for black people, the
Yeah.
way that they did? How long do you think that it would take for my grandmother to get her
no,
birth
you,
certificate?
no, you didn't skip me, woman.
6 weeks. I'm guessing 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we actually did get her birth certificate. Not only did it cost us, I forgot how much my sister said it cost us to get it, but they would in St. Martin's Parish, they wouldn't even mail it. We had to drive to St.
Wow.
Martin's Parish
That's
to
crazy.
go and get her birth certificate.
So you can't even be concerned about gerrymandering and redistricting because you can't even vote until you get that birth certificate to register to
And
vote.
that costs money,
And that
which is
costs
a poll
money.
tax.
And everybody don't have it. But listen, let me ask you a question, Buttermilk. When was it when you ordered your birth certificate and they told you had to come to DC? Was that around the pandemic or when was it? You're on mute.
We went in 23, so it was right after it.
Okay.
But like I said, I had ordered. We went in April. I want to say I ordered my birth certificate in January,
Okay. Yeah, that should
and
have you should have been able to get it.
I should have, but it never came in. I did it online. It was supposed to come in the mail. It never came. I checked again. They said it should be. Give it time. Whatever. It still never came. I then called again. I called up to here to DC, and they was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. But if you want it by then, you have to come here. That your only option is to come here and get it.
So what did you do? You went there and got it?
I drove my ass from North Carolina to DC.
Wow.
Yes,
But listen,
yes, ma'am.
during the
So
pandemic,
this is
I
my
ordered
point.
mine. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, this is my point to AJ. That yes, if you have a,
You
if
should have
you
had your
want
documents on
something,
order before you bought that trip.
when,
I know.
He's not listening because
He's
she
not.
literally said
But
that
I
she
just
had
want
applied for it weeks before her trip.
I
right.
Better, no,
understand. It
not
say
only
it
that,
can,
Yeah,
I
January.
thought I had them.
it
I
can
thought I
take up
had
to a
them
month. We
until
understand.
I didn't find them.
Right. That happened to me, and I had to order mine during the pandemic. And I'm gonna tell you, people were working from home, so it took longer. And a lot of people didn't go back to work until what, 2022? because people were out for a long time working from home. They got used to working from home. So
I was
this is
working from home.
yeah.
But AJ, I'm gonna say this one more time, okay? Again, you're talking about the Democrats have been doing this, and I'm telling you that's not true.
Right.
Again, if you have a blue state, 9 times out of 10, most of the districts are going to be blue.
True.
Same thing for a red state. That if you are traditionally a red state, where the majority of the people of your state have a conservative mindset, you're going to have a lot of red districts.
Correct.
But what you won't find, Buttermel, is a blue state without a red district. And now we're
one.
seeing without at least one. And
Can
now
you
we're
look at my,
seeing states
can you look
that
at my
want to
background, Miss Ann?
And to add to
draw.
your
We got states that's 40 to 50%, 30 to 8% Republican with 0 seats. So that would disprove what you were just saying, right? That would shut
No,
down.
no, no, no. But
That is not
AJ,
true.
it
What are you
doesn't. No, but it
talking
doesn't.
about?
But what you are doing, AJ, is when you pull up your maps, AJ, you are talking about these whitewashed states where black people
Oh,
only
it's
are
not true,
maybe,
AJ. I'm so sorry to tell
where
you.
they are maybe,
What's not
even if it was true,
what's not true? Wait,
even if
what
it
about it
was
is not?
true.
What about it is not true? Help me
But
understand.
even if it was true, AJ, they are not targeting these people because of race. They are targeting these people because of party affiliation. Here in the South, here in
Exactly,
the South,
man. Sorry,
here
I'm
in
sorry.
the South, they know that the majority of black people
That's
vote for the Democratic Party in the South specifically.
just a
So
coincidence,
they
man.
are
First of all,
no, it's not a
first
coincidence.
of all,
I'm
gerrymandering and
sorry to do it.
redistricting are not the same thing. If they redistrict based on the size of the population after the census, then it is what it is. Gerrymandering is when you purposely draw the map to either pack or crack or to draw it to the advantage of a political party while diluting the voting power of voters in the other political party.
Don't talk to me like that.
Gerrymandering is not fair.
I said that
Gerrymandering
earlier.
is
You gotta learn to be
unfair.
sensitive of all the stuff you see.
Redistricting is the
Didn't I say that
constitutional
earlier?
fair drawn map. Redistricting is fine. Gerrymandering is not.
Do you remember when I said
Right.
the Democrats pack districts and Republicans are crack?
No, it's just where we
They're both.
live. It's where we
both good.
live.
So, Ayana, to your point about the card that your mom has, my husband, who was born 1974, had a card. I'd never seen it before in my life until I got married to him. And I'm like, what the freak is that? He said, this is my birth certificate card.
That's funny.
I'm like, what? Well, me in New York, I'm originally from New York, but I live here in North Carolina. I had like the regular yellow, thing of a birth certificate. So when he was doing his, we call it passport, they couldn't accept that either. They could not accept his card.
Yeah, because they
So he
think
had to
it's fake.
redo the process.
They
Yes,
think
he had
it's
to get.
fake.
Yeah.
So listen,
But people don't understand. That's why we're doing this, because people don't understand the difference between gerrymandering and redistricting. And we're going to go up to Joni. Joni's been waiting a minute. Go ahead, Joni.
Hello, everybody.
Wow.
Beautiful ladies and
Hey,
AJ.
Johnny.
And
Hey,
Black.
sugar. Hey, sugar.
Hey. Yeah, no, everyone has some great ideas. First of all, AJ, let's keep in mind we're not debating. It's okay to be wrong. And so, no, I'm just playing. But working, because I work with unhoused people, and you would be surprised how many people have lost everything in fires, have lost everything when they lost their livelihoods. They don't have these documents, and they don't have the money to get these documents. Of course, there are some nonprofits that can kick in and help you get those things, but they're very limited and they're very booked. So, and even for like a city like Dallas here, I think we have maybe 2 nonprofits for the whole city. to help these people that are low income or no income get that ID and cert like things that they need. You know, and it's actually really common for a lot of people to not have their birth certificates because maybe they didn't grow up in a great household and their parents didn't keep their records, and so they just kind of have gone through adulthood without them. And then there's people that move a lot and may have left their documents at an old house. And these things are they do take a long time to get. They aren't quick and in a hurry. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of nuance to it. You can't just be like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. People have lives, they get busy. We have to work every day. Most people are working 40 hours plus every week. We don't think about these things unless we absolutely need them. So I think we got to be fair in that point, because if we're going to require all these documents to vote when we already have to bring our IDs, that's just another poll tax. We got to call it what it is.
And in my
Absolutely.
state,
Now let me
in my
go ahead.
state, they offer state IDs for free, but you still have to have all of your documents. So if you can manage to get all of your documents, you can get a free state ID in Ohio.
Cool.
But you still got to pay for that paperwork to get it. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so,
I
I mean,
mean,
All
it's
righty.
you still coming off on the financial end. You still have to pay for that, and each state is different when it comes to how much. I mean, those documents cost so that you can actually get your ID. And I think a lot of us forget that even though some of us are struggling, we still have a point of privilege. We are sitting here on an app talking to each other on our little supercomputers that we have in our hands, most of us. We forget that many of us still live in a point of privilege. So for you, AJ, to say, well, they don't have $30, that's a point of privilege, sir.
Did you drop
That's
him?
a point of privilege.
No, I didn't drop him. He left. I didn't drop him. Okay.
Um,
Put me on the big screen though. Put me on the big screen.
You know what's interesting? AJ complained about some states having that are all blue. Some
Well,
states
that's
only
what I'm about to
have
show you.
one district.
right.
Oh, wait.
So if it's blue, it's blue.
I got all
Some
that.
states have two districts, and two of
Well,
them will happen to be
isn't
red.
right, and isn't Wyoming one of those states where it's an at-large position? They only have one congressional representative in Wyoming. So if
And
that person
Vermont is
wins,
the same. Vermont is the same.
Yep.
right?
And
Trying to make it so
obviously,
we have
every
none.
state has two senators, but not every state gets to have two congressional representatives. Some states only have one, and that one might happen to be Republican or Democrat. But also, states are drawn for their own state government.
Yep.
They have their
Mhm.
own state districts. There are state districts, and then there are U.S. congressional districts. And however your state draws the maps, whoever does it can also gerrymander the state maps. So it's
Right.
we're not
Yep.
just talking about state. We're not just talking about U.S. Map gerrymandering. We're talking about state gerrymandering too. That affects your resources at the state level, and that's why we're here, because people don't understand a lot of this, and they think it's just black and white. It is not. Butterman.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell so I can get this off the screen because you can't see the comments. That's why I'm doing like this.
Oh,
But
okay.
just to debunk one of his things, this is Massachusetts. Yeah, this is, of course, as you see, this is my favorite website here, independentvoterproject.org. Okay. Massachusetts, 24% is Democrats, 8% is Republican, while 67% is independent.
Yep.
Mm.
I know.
So where are these people? Where are these Republicans that his little thing said? His
Right.
meme?
He made it look like they were majority in a lot of states.
Yeah, they really not.
That's what I was trying to tell him. We outnumber them. Let's
They
swing
really
back.
not.
Listen, if it wasn't, they wouldn't win one presidential election if they got rid of the electoral college. And I hope
This is Rhode Island.
I hope you listen to AJ.
34% Democratic, only 14% Republican with 50% independent in Rhode Island. The Northeast is heavily Democratic.
Yes.
So it is going to be hard pressed to find a Republican there. But yet you think they supposed to have what, 3-4 seats?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. When Rhode Island really literally only got 3 people there.
That's funny.
Let's not leave that part out. I think Maine has 2 seats
Yes.
in
Look at-
Congress. 2.
yes. Look at Wyoming. They smaller. They got what, 2?
And
That's the part they're missing too,
and
Ayana.
Wyoming is
That's
a
the part.
big state.
Wyoming has
That's
one
the part that's being missed,
representative.
Ayana. Where
Do they have
Maryland
2
has
senators?
8. Maryland has 8, no, not senators. Representatives. Alaska has 1.
Okay.
Yeah. It's based
There's
on the
only one
size of the
person-
population.
Yeah, it's
based
based
on
on
the
the
size
size
of
of
the
the
population.
population. So that's the part that's missing too. Where you have somewhere like Texas that has what 25, 20, 30, 35, about like 35 representatives from Texas show up at the Capitol.
Yeah.
I think it's 38.
And you're trying to make all 35 seats be Republican. That's a problem.
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
when you have somewhere like Rhode Island, who literally only have 2 representative seats, most 9 times out of 10, those 2 are going to be Democratic because it's a Democratic state.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Can you do Wyoming? Because I thought I was told I think it's the Senate. I don't know. All I know is they have 2 or something. They say they're very small over there.
They have 2
Well, they have
every
2
state has
senators.
2 senators.
They have 2 senators.
Every state has 2 senators.
Yeah, but they
Every
only have
state.
one
But we
rep.
talk about the representatives
Yeah.
that's in the House.
The Senate is whatever it is. It's not based on the population of the state. Wyoming, Montana, they're mostly land. That's why they would only have like 1 or 2 congressional districts. 2 rather.
I can't shrink
I think
myself.
Wyoming only has 2, or is it Montana only has 2? I think it's Montana. So I mean, but it is what it is. It's nobody is crying foul because a state that has a smaller population has 2 districts, and that state happens to be in the upper what is it, northeast, not northeast, but western part of the country, where people tend to vote Republican. So those districts are both Republican. It doesn't stop a Democrat from running for office,
Right.
but sometimes Democrats feel like, why even bother? Because the representative is always a Republican. It's because the people are voting Republican that the representatives is always Republican.
Hey, well,
I
I'm
wanna
gonna
bring
have
up
to,
this-
I hate to cut in. I'm gonna have to drop down, y'all, because I'm gonna have me a birthday drink. So I will.
I know that's
catch
right.
y'all.
Enjoy
Happy
It's on Wednesday. It's on Wednesday, but I got to celebrate early.
Enjoy yourself, Blake.
All right, y'all have a good one.
My Black.
Bye, Black.
Have one for me. Ayana, I also want to bring this up while everybody's having a conversation. I like to do a lot of research. I like to, read when
Yes,
some
you are one
I
of
like
our
to read.
researchers.
So on independent.co.uk, I'm reading this article about Mike Johnson. And where's Mike Johnson from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. So in a conversation with Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday, he was asked about what was his message to Black Americans after the Supreme Court delivered a severe blow to the Voting Rights Act. He says, and I quote, "The Supreme Court issued a long-awaited opinion, and I think it was long overdue. And they stated the obvious, that drawing congressional lines must be fair. You cannot draw lines on the basis of race, and that's what was done in Louisiana."
Listen, Mike Johnson. Just because it's not drawn on the basis of race doesn't mean it's fair, sir.
Exactly.
Fair, sir. The problem with and Buttermel, we went back and forth about the shape of this Louisiana map, because you were like, "Wow, it looked crazy." But the people actually came up with that. The people came up with that district. It wasn't just somebody sat down and drew it like that. The people, they had groups of people come together and said, we want to give black voters a district because they did not have one, and they have lots of black voters, and why don't black voters have representation in Congress in Louisiana? When they are voting Democrat, why don't they have it? And
Well,
so
you know,
they came
I
together
say
and
all
they
the time.
drew it how they drew it. It looked like a river runs through it.
I'm saying, I'm like, what is this?
It was crazy looking, but
What is this?
black voters had voting power. Now they're moved over here, they're moved over here, they're moved over there, they're moved over there, and they have no voting power.
None.
They still have one small district. They have one district left.
Yeah.
One district. But they were all dispersed into these other districts, and now their voting power has been diluted. And that's on purpose. And
Yes.
that is racial gerrymandering, but you can't
Yes.
call it racial gerrymandering because it's partisan gerrymandering, which is constitutional. But the effect is that a race of people's voting power is diluted. But the Supreme Court said we can't look at the effects. We have to look at the intent.
Yes.
We only care about the intent. Was the intent to dilute the black vote? Was the intent to put black people to take away their voting power? If the previous map intent was drawn, if the intent of the previous map drawers were to put black people out, then that's racist and we could use this map.
Right.
But that wasn't their intent. Even if that's what happened, that wasn't their intent. So we have to go back to using the previous map.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we come to the conclusion based on what we know that all of this red is 750,000 people, right? Because we know that's about where they put a district, right? And we cut this in half. Wait, let me cut it in half. Look, let me cut it in half here.
There you go.
Okay, so then we got about 400,000 people in this little red area there. We
Right.
add another 300,000 people here. Okay. That's looks like a fairly evenly drawn district, but we don't necessarily have the majority, but because that's like I said, as I said the other day, it would be ignorant of us to assume all white folks are going to vote against us. It would
Right.
be ignorant to assume that. So
Right.
even though, or that all black folks is going to vote Democrat.
But they have been.
Like we learned that.
But they have been voting Democrat. That's why they were given that district, because they had been
Correct.
voting Democrat.
Correct. So my point is, if they districted where that all of this was one district and all of this is one district, we technically most likely would still have two represented districts.
Is
Most likely.
this the old map? Because
This is
I
the
think
old
that's what they're going to go back to. They haven't said what map they're going to use, by the way. We don't know how
This
they're
is
going
what
to
it
draw.
was. This is what they just overturned.
This is what they just overturned, but we don't know if they're drawing a new map or if they're going back to the map before this map. Do you have the map that was used before this one? Because
Yeah, I'm
they
not.
have
I
yet
don't.
to say what map they're going to use.
Right. I'm not sure. I don't think I had that right now, but I know what you mean, because there was this up here, and I want to say it went all the way down to Baton Rouge at first, and then over here with a little more the New Orleans area, that was the second district. The two districts that they had black, that made up the second one that was majority black. But again, I'm gonna bring this back to what is fair and what is not. That two wrongs don't make a right. Okay. I know. I live in America. I know why we have black this or black that. I know why.
Right.
But at the same time, we cannot say out of one side of our mouth it's wrong that they're trying to make this an all white district, and then be mad when we make this a majority black district.
Right.
It's not about it's they weren't making it an all white district. They were making it a Republican majority with a black minority.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, I'm looking at the previous map right now. Ridiculous, this map. I
It's
can't even.
sickening.
It's sick.
It's sickening.
And not only did the blacks have, not only did we have a one district, it's a tiny district.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a tiny district. It was
Yes.
District 2 is a tiny ass district. I can't even believe that
It's
they
like a
were allowed to get
like a
away
little
with it.
fist and everything
Yeah,
all
because
around it.
I was
That's
a
what
part
it
of
looked like.
District 2 when I lived in Louisiana. So
And that was the district. I wonder if they're going to go back to that map because there's no way that that's a fairly drawn map. There's no way.
Right. And to add on to that, what you're saying, so back to this article. So black voters in the South have feared that this will deny their ability to be equally represented in Congress. But Johnson did not address the concerns of black voters, of course.
Why
But
wouldn't you?
this I quote, okay? So they declared it to be unconstitutional gerrymander, and it was, Johnson said, this bring back fairness and certainty this to the system. And I think a lot of states are looking to make sure that their maps are not unconstitutional like Louisiana's was.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
They could draw the map to give
Sure.
Democrats a certain amount of representational power in the state. They don't want to do that is the problem. They
Right.
don't want to give Democrats the any power. Number one, they don't want
Right.
Democrats to have any power. So they're either content with giving Democrats that one little district, or they're going to ice them out completely.
Right.
Completely.
Right.
And that when he says we have to look at all the maps to make sure they're drawn fairly, well, when they're drawn to keep one party from having any representation whatsoever, how can you call that fair? How can you call that fair?
And to bring that point home is that Johnson and President with this guy have pushed for states with Republican controlled legislatures and governors to redraw the congressional maps to give them an advantage in the 2026 midterm elections and avoid losing their slim majority in the House of Representatives. So they telling you what it is.
They're telling you what it is.
They telling you what it is, people. Okay.
Yeah, they're telling because they're not going to the Dem states and say, hey,
Right.
Dems, get more seats in Congress.
Right.
No, they're going to the red states, the Republican majority states, and saying, hey, give us more seats.
Exactly. And then Ayana, on top of that, what did Steve Bannon say? If we don't win this election, there are people in this crowd and
They're gonna go to
including me
prison.
going to jail.
Yeah.
They telling you why they doing this.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the real world effects of redrawing these maps to dilute the black vote, because that's what's happening. And you know what? It's so funny. We're talking about the black voting power. Nobody is talking about the Latino voting power, which if
Ooh.
ours is getting worse, if ours is being watered down even more, for Latinos, it's going to get even worse than what it already is.
Mm-hmm.
They are unfairly gerrymandered in every state.
Yeah.
Okay. Even in Texas, where you would think, oh, Latinos must have a lot of voting power. No, they don't. No. A lot of their districts have been unfairly gerrymandered for decades, and Latinos have no voting power. You look at the number of not just Democrats in power or Republicans in power. Look at the number of Latino representatives in the U.S. House of Representatives.
It's not that many.
Not that many. And that's how is that fair? How is any of this fair? I need people to think about fairness. It's supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be fair. That's why we're here, because it is unfair. It doesn't matter if you give Democrats 10 districts in a state that has 20. It should be fair.
Right.
If you give Democrats one district in a state that has 20, how is that fair?
Exactly. And not only just the voting, but look what they're going through in this country as well. And it's giving them a message that, look, we still don't consider you a part of us in a sense. So not only are they making their life miserable, but hey, we're going to take your voting power too. So it's like they just like doubling the dose of medicine that they're giving to us.
And the reality is that blacks in the South vote overwhelmingly Democrat. They do.
Right.
And we know why they do. I mean, I've talked
Mm-hmm.
about this on other panels before about why black voters, especially in the South, vote overwhelmingly for Democrats. That's the case in the North too. And my state, unfortunately, had been unconstitutionally gerrymandered. Unconstitutional because the Ohio Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional the way the Republicans drew the map. And most of the voters in a particular district were voting Democrat, and the Republicans were like, "Hey, we don't like that, so we're going to create another district. No, we're going to eliminate a district." They eliminated a district to make one big Republican-leaning district. They just eliminated it. They just said we don't need it anymore. And it wasn't based on the US Census. It was just what they wanted to do. And the Supreme Court was like, hey, your map is unfairly drawn, draw it again. And they said, screw you. And so we had to vote with unconstitutionally drawn maps for some time until the Democrats finally said, you know what, we're tired of fighting. We'll just take these 3 little districts that you all want us to have, and that's fine. We'll just take that. And so that's what we have now.
So my question is, and if anyone in the comments want to come up and speak on this, please request that. But my question is, how do we get on like opposite sides of this, right? Like, where is the consistency on that? Whether you Republican or you Democrat, that you like, look, we just need fair laws. Like, where is the big agreement on that?
Yeah.
How do we lose touch with that?
By this person that's in office,
Well,
that I can say.
I want to say, Buttermilk, I want to say it started somewhere around 2008 when a bunch of people showed up to vote for a young senator from Illinois,
Yes.
named Barack Obama. And the Republicans realized they were in deep doo-doo caca. They said,
Okay.
you know what? They went to their states and they said, how can we keep more people from voting?
Yep.
And
That's
so
what
they
gotta
started
do.
the process of working on little tricks they could do to keep too many people from voting. Listen.
Okay, so they went in the vault and found the Southern strategy, a memo.
Pretty much, they came up with a new strategy, and that was to change what we talked about, the voter ID laws. That was one of the ways. And then they decided to take over the voting chair precinct captain positions. That was another way. But another way was the redistricting. They decided to not redistrict, but gerrymander. They're the ones who started the gerrymandering. They started it. And then every time it was challenged at the Supreme Court level, the Supreme Court would say, hey, we can't get involved. If your court says it's constitutional, then it's constitutional. There's nothing we can do. And even when the states like Ohio said it's unconstitutional, the Republicans said, we don't give a crap. We're going to do whatever we want to do. And because there's no pushback, there's no fight from the people, they got to get away with it. Okay. The more you're allowed to get away with something, the more you're going to do it. And that's what they've been doing. And the fact that people have not fought back, like you said, against this unfairness that's happening, against this ignoring of the Constitution that's happening, says a lot about who we are as a populace. Are we tired? Are we over it?
Right.
Are we not? Are we
Yeah,
not
a lot of
plugged
us
in?
don't
Are we
vote.
not paying attention? Are we not? I mean, do we not understand what the real world effects? Like, listen to this, okay?
So
Cleo
listen.
Fields. Have you heard of Cleo Fields? Cleo Fields is the representative that was
said he was my
elected.
representative.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
elected, but he was elected in 2024 for that 6th district that was drawn into the map, right? And so because the map is going to be redrawn to remove that 6th district, he's going to lose his seat. And so are representatives in the state of Tennessee and Alabama and probably in Missouri. Missouri
Well, he lost it before.
Missouri has been doing a gerrymandering fight since God, I don't even know when. It's been going on for a long time, but it's also going to happen in probably Alabama. I said Alabama, right? South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas. There's another state, Georgia. The governor has called a special session to redraw the map for 2028, and he's about to leave office.
Yeah,
he's about to leave office. There's another state. Is it? It's not Kentucky. Tennessee. That's 7 states so far. I mean, who else? Who else is next? Arizona.
A lot.
And
that's the thing.
According to Johnson, a lot.
That's crazy.
But this is the thing. Cleo Fields lost his seat before. Like he got, they end up making a new district. He became the representative. They then took that away when 2020 came because that was when they could redistrict.
Right.
And like I said, and this is the thing. This is probably the biggest problem is the redistricting that's happening, and you haven't even done a census.
You haven't done a
So
census.
how do you know?
We still got 4 years to the census.
We still got 4 years. So how are you reshaping shit with incorrect numbers?
Which means that probably in 5 years we're going to be doing this over again. We're going to be doing this redrawing of maps over again.
Okay, so this is what I say about that. That's why we need to win now and in 2028. Because if we do, we can. How do you think we can get a fair commission where somebody ran, like some bipartisan people can get together and draw the maps and make them fair? Because that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to pass some legislation. It's the only way they'll back off. And even
here's the thing, you can outlaw gerrymandering. You can't outlaw redistricting. States have a right to redraw their maps, but you can outlaw unfair map drawing. You can.
Right.
Is Congress going to do that? Like you said, please vote.
Well, we have the majority. We can do it. I mean, but we're going to need
We've had the majority before. We've had a majority Senate and House and presidency in 2021 to 2023.
But don't you need 60 votes to do it? No. That part I don't know, because if you need 60 votes, that's where a dilemma comes. We may have to kill the filibuster because we need to pass voting rights and we need to pass fair maps. We also need to codify.
We can pass another Voting Rights Act. We can pass another Voting Rights Act. We don't have to. You can pass a Voting Rights Act anytime. The Constitution says that you can pass any legislation necessary to enforce the 15th Amendment.
So my question is, why didn't Joe Manchin and Sinema? He was like, I'm not signing on to nothing unless it's bipartisan. I couldn't stand him. Oh, I couldn't.
Because they turncoats.
He was a Republican.
Because they turncoats, just like
he was a Democrat.
Turncoats.
I mean, I think we can go on all day about why these people don't support another Voting Rights Act, another any more changes to this. Like, we haven't had a change to the Civil Rights Act since Obama was in office. Do we think we need something like that?
Absolutely. And my question is, see, this is what I was saying, but they said we needed to kill the filibuster to do it. And he's like, I'm not doing that. If we don't give Republican votes, the reason why he said that is because he relied on Republican votes. He also voted a no against the child tax credit. And that's why when he went to run, the numbers said get out the race. And that's why he didn't run. That's what happens when you do the people wrong. I believe in karma.
The other thing is that if you kill the filibuster, if you
unalive, put the foot to the chat and use that king of hell word.
They haven't been messing with us about that. It's other stuff
I know they haven't.
You don't allow the minority party to have any say in what bills the Senate passes, and I don't know if you want to do that because
they still don't.
Because you want the minority party to have some say, don't you?
You do, because all they're going to do is turn around and pass something worse when they get the power. That's all they're going to do.
I'm about to say, when Cory Booker did the filibuster, guess what? The very next day, once he finished his 24 freaking hours, they still went and vote and they passed it.
Right. No, I think
But you at
it's
least want him to have some say. Like, what if
right, but
he
it's
wasn't
something
able to
different.
have any opinion on it whatsoever? They just pass whatever.
Right, right. So what I'm saying to you, Buttermel, is this: when you want to pass something like voting rights and you don't have the votes, you have to pass that means you're voting to get rid of the filibuster. In other words, we don't have to rely on them. We're just gonna vote so that we can do it on our own. And if we do that, they're gonna do the same thing, but they're gonna make it worse because that's who they are. So it's difficult. And I pray every day, some kind of way we get surprised and we get enough votes with like 60 votes and they can't say nothing. If they don't want to
Right.
join us, we can just go ahead and do it. Because that's what we
But
need. We need voting rights.
but Ayana, they do still have a vote when they bring this to the floor, and they have to. They have conversation then.
Right.
And then you can, speak up, say how you feel about it. I'm voting no on this today because A, B, C, D, or E. But then we sat up there, like I said, and he talked for over 24 hours or whatever amount it was, and
Nothing.
still the bill got passed.
Right. Because the
So
reason
what
He
good is the
votes with them
filibuster really
anyway.
doing?
but
He
no, it's
votes with
something
them
different
sometimes
when I'm
anyway.
go
He
ahead.
votes
I'm
with them.
gonna let you go, Ayana. Go first.
He votes with them sometimes anyway.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say about it.
I don't
So,
know. Him
so
doing a
Good.
36
he
hour
does
speech
do that.
for
But
me
you're
is
talking about
meaningless
something
because sometimes
different,
he'll vote
Buttermilk.
for bills that they want anyway. He'll vote to confirm candidates that they like too. So
Yeah.
I don't even
I
know
don't.
why he does that because he's from
No,
a
I'm just
blue
saying the
state.
filibuster's not necessary in my opinion.
So, but what I'm saying is, what he did was a different
Trump would
kind of
agree with you.
filibuster. The filibuster I'm talking about, they have to vote for it. In other words, we're going to vote to say we can pass this without 60 votes. That's what I'm talking about. Because
Think
otherwise,
of
it ain't
all
gonna
the
happen.
things that would
Hey,
be
Papa.
difficult. But okay, let's get back to the redistricting and the gerrymandering. Think about all the things that will be made more difficult because these maps are gerrymandered to favor one party and to dilute the congressional power of another party.
Okay. Well, that's my question though. Is it possible? Because, like I said, with Maine, you literally have, or Rhode Island or Vermont or whatever, like you don't have that many seats, and you, no matter how you draw those districts, you're going to end up with majority Democratic districts, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how you draw it, because the state itself, which as we know with Vermont, is only but so big. So you
That's
got
why
two seats.
they rely on the Senate to get their resources. They rely on the Senate.
Right. So the representatives is going to most likely be Democratic anyway for that sheer fact. So is it really possible to redistrict in a way that is completely that people would consider fair? Because
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
I would think that that's still fair in Vermont, that is two Democratic districts because the state is majority Democratic.
Okay.
Guess who is in charge of a national I want to say it's a fair democratic redistricting. It's called the National Democratic Redistricting Commission. Guess who is in charge of it?
Okay.
Eric Holder.
Yes. And by the
Oh yeah.
way, did you know that
Wow.
listen,
Yeah.
did you know that when Barack left office, they formed because they noticed that they kept losing because of the unfairness of what they were doing with the redistricting. So they formed that little thing there.
And
Yep.
if you go to their website, it's called democraticredistricting.com. I was looking at this yesterday because Obama joined him on one of their calls for people to donate money. They talk about the history of gerrymandering. They talk about the U.S. Census. They talk about ways to draw fair maps. And it's called Project. Wait a minute. I was just looking at it. But they talk about ways to draw fair maps. And I love that they call it drawing fair maps and not drawing a map to favor the Democrats.
Right.
The whole point of this is to give voters fair representation. We want all voters to have fair representation in the U.S. House. Not just the U.S. House, though, but the state houses. We forget that this affects the state houses as well.
Yes.
Republicans
Yes.
love to gerrymander those state seats too. So
So let's put this up real quick, because as we're saying this, as I was just saying, that the majority of Vermont's or Rhode Island are Democratic, or are voters voting Democrat, right?
Okay.
If y'all put this up here real quick,
Okay.
this is how we know. This is what we're saying about Texas.
Mm-hmm.
look at that.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're gonna see for the as the best. So this is Texas, guys.
This
46%
That's
of
crazy.
Texas is Democrat, while only 37% is Republican, with a 15% independence.
Okay.
Okay? So if we're saying how the representation should be based on the majority of
Voters.
the majority voters, the majority is Democrats. So Texas should technically have more Democratic districts.
Remember what that one candidate told us about voting in Texas, that you can't really know who's a Democrat and who's a Republican because you can go into the booth and get any ballot you want.
Mm.
I know, but these are registered. This is what they registered.
These are who are registered. Okay.
Correct. It is 46% registered voters, or here 8 million people are registered Democrats, and only 6 million are registered Republican, with about almost 3 million registered independent.
So do you have to register independent, or do you just have to not select?
I'm not sure.
You probably have to
That's what I don't know about Texas.
Texas does not register voters. Let me read that by hold on, let me go look what.
I know you can. That would be interesting.
Okay, so it does say that Texas does not register voters by party.
Okay.
It said
you asked for with the
right
ballot
down below is modeled by the primary.
Okay, so that's based on
primary
who
ballot
voted.
history.
Yeah. So you can't really know in Texas who is a Democrat and who is a Republican.
Right. Which should make the drawing of the districts even better, even fairer.
Yeah, I agree.
It should, but they're not making it fair, so it's not.
No, they making sure we know exactly who, what, and we're gonna make sure they have the majority of each little space we make out.
Because redistricting is crucial to providing resources to different communities. Gerrymandering is not. Gerrymandering is not crucial. It's not necessary. It doesn't have to happen. It is unfair. And the fact that it is happening and people are allowing it says what they think about the right to vote and what they think about American voters, American people at all having representation in government. They think that they should control it when they work for us. They represent us. We don't work for them. We're not their minions. We're not their subjects. They work for us. Even if you don't vote, they still work for you because your taxes pay for them to get to where they need to go. So why is it that they put themselves in charge of our voting decisions? This is like them saying, I'm going to pick for you. I'm going to choose who you vote for you. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's what happened. Right. I'm sorry, Ayanna, but remember what happened in Missouri. That's what happened in Missouri, remember? I forgot his name. And he was like, the people don't know what they're voting for, so I will vote for, I know what's best for them.
Right.
It's like we're a bunch of kids, like we don't know. Yep. Yeah, we freaking know. We freaking know. And this also, going back to the question that Buttermilk had about how do we get to this point, and you brought up Barack Obama, I thought of Scandal. How they all go in that round table thing and they try to strategize on what to do next. They were just scrambling. Yep. And then who came up with that famous quote? We're going to make sure we make this person the one-term president. That was their whole meeting. That was the whole meeting. That was their objective.
Mitch McConnell and friends, they said, we're going to make him a one-term president.
Yes.
We're going to be the party of no. We're going to say no to everything he wants. And that's exactly what they did. They became an obstructionist Senate. an obstructionist house,
And
and they said
somehow,
no to everything
some
he wanted.
somehow these MAGAs acting like we just made this up yesterday at last. I
No,
mean,
they
the
said it
Democrats
out of
ain't
their
stand for
mouths.
nothing. Okay.
Right. And
They're not voting for anything.
to add
But
on
just
top of that,
imagine they work for us and they're going to their job and saying, actually, I'm not going to do anything for you because I'm trying to make it difficult for the president to do his job.
Yeah.
So I
right.
know you're waiting for a housing policy,
Yep.
and I know you're waiting for jobs to come back to your community. We're going to have to put that on hold for a little while we play this little game over here to keep
Right.
the president's power
Absolutely.
contained.
And to add on top of that, people don't realize that he was blocked 500 times. And I get so frustrated with the black population. Well, he didn't do nothing for the black people. Well, how can he when he's fighting against the machine? In the
Yep.
second term, he was raging against the machine. The machine didn't want to work.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you know, and that's the thing, people do not know or understand how the system works. You know, the president has some form of power, but they don't have all the power. They don't. They're just a face.
That's why we're here.
Face.
That's why we're here to educate the people, because the
Exactly.
people don't know. They don't know. But people also don't want to listen. You see how we brought AJ up here? He didn't even want to listen.
He got his feelings hurt.
Like, sometimes you just have to listen. Even if you don't agree with what people are saying, just listen.
Right.
I was reading factual information, things you can't dispute, and he's getting upset. Ooh.
Right.
Getting all up in arms. People are giving him facts. And he's getting
Yep.
all, like, just listen.
Right. You're nonchalant up here. Hey, nonchalant, how you doing?
What's going on?
How are you?
We need
We're
to
talking
abolish the
about,
electoral college.
what'd you say?
We need to
We need to
abolish the
abolish
electoral
the electoral
college.
college.
Okay, what steps do you think we should take to get there? Because that's in the
Well, I mean,
Constitution.
excuse me.
That's in the Constitution. How do you get rid of something
I
that's in
know
the Constitution?
we can vote. We
Have the
can
people vote on it.
We can
How do you
vote. We can push the Democratic vote so hard that we get enough numbers in Congress. We can do that with a vote.
Do you know what electoral college is for?
Yes, and gerrymandering is to gain more electoral college votes. That's the purpose of gerrymandering. Yes.
No,
You know what gerrymandering is?
no, that's not my question. Do you know what electoral college is and what it does?
I know gerrymandering is done to gain more electoral college votes.
Right.
Okay, but do you know what the Electoral College?
Yes,
Want me
they
to
pick
give
the
you a
president.
hint, nonchalant? If it didn't exist,
They pick the
Republicans would
president.
never win a presidential ever.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Not unless they cheated.
I'm fine with Republicans never holding office ever again. They're the enemies of this country. The entire party.
I mean, people
The
got to
entire
have a
party
choice,
leadership
though.
has been in lockstep
People
with
got to have a
this
choice.
speech,
People
this
should be
jackass
allowed
since
to.
he came down an escalator. And
People
he
should
said
be
it.
allowed to choose who they want to vote for, what they want to support. Saying
Right.
that that a
No,
certain party should never
darling.
exist.
No, this party has become the number one terrorist threat this country's ever seen. Stop with that nonsense. He's trying to give.
I'm
He's trying
not
to give
I'm not
January
going to
6
stop
people
because
$1 million
we're here
and
talking
pardon
about
them on the first day.
we're here talking about fairness, right?
Right.
Don't mute me just because you want to hear yourself talk. You
I
ain't got
didn't
fucking
mute
first.
you,
nonchalant,
sir. You see my
nonchalant.
And I
hands
don't
right
wish
here?
you
You see my
nonchalant,
hands?
your legs.
You see my hands? My hands
nonchalant.
are clasped together right here. I did not
Right.
mute you,
I
sir.
muted you. So this is not
No, I'm
a
talking to your
debate.
ass then.
Oh no, you're not.
You're not now.
Thank
You're
you.
not
did he
now.
say?
You're not
Ta-ta.
now. We don't do that here,
Guys, can you
sir.
hear me? I'm on my phone and I dropped it.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
Okay.
But
Listen,
we're not doing that
what
here,
is his
sir.
problem? I was on a live with him before he did something crazy. What's his deal?
Listen,
He
you don't have to.
think he's smarter than women or something?
You don't have to like Republicans, but we're here talking about fairness, and
Right.
saying one group is a terrorist group and they should be eliminated is antithetical to the point here. That's another discussion for another day. We're talking about the actions of the people in the party. You know, there
Right.
was a time when the Republicans were freeing slaves.
Exactly.
Not that we owe them anything. Not that we owe them anything, sir. But I tell you what, if it were up to me, we wouldn't have any political parties whatsoever. Because they're all a bunch of tricksters and et cetera. They all have done things, all of them. And to be a politician, an elected person, you have to be kind of a woo anyway. Okay?
I'm just as
But
partisan as I want to
that's
be.
where we live at. This is where we live. This is the system within which we live. This is what we have to work with. A person can go off and form their own political party. Then what? Then what are you going to do? People have the freedom to choose who they want to vote for, the party they want, who they want to have elected, who they want to see in the general election. We live in a constitutional democracy. That is the point.
Yep.
If you don't like having different political parties that have different ideologies, even ones you don't agree with, I don't know what to tell you. This is America. We've always had these parties. We've had many different parties. Before it was just these two parties that are in the majority. We had the Whig Party, the Republican Democrat Party. That was one party at one time.
Right.
We had the Freedom Party. We had this party. We had the Tea Party. We have had all kinds of political parties. People form parties that they like based on their ideologies. Perhaps you should look into that. Explore forming a party. Go ahead.
Yep.
It's possible. Anything is possible in the United States of America. That's why we're here, because anything is possible and anything can happen, and it does.
Yep. But you know what? I said this. I'm gonna tell you the one way. But they wouldn't want it. But I say put it on the ballot in every state in a general election and or in a midterm or whatever, and let people decide if they want the electoral college. I can guarantee you it'll be partisanship because they don't want it, because they know if they do that they'll never win another presidential election, because most of the time we have more votes than them. This last time it didn't happen, but I don't think that was free and fair. But
you know what's interesting? People will say they want to eliminate the electoral college, but they don't even know how it was
they're talking about.
Exactly.
They don't know where it comes from. They don't know how an amendment to the Constitution is adopted in the United States.
Right.
You can't. It's not just the Senate and the House. You have to get the states. You have to get 2/3 of the states. You know how hard it is to get 2/3. You know how hard it was.
He working on it now. That's why they're doing this. I believe this is why they're doing this.
No, but do you know how hard it was to get 2/3 of the states to agree to let women have the right to vote?
Disgusting.
Very, very hard. Very.
And that's why I asked him, do you know what it is? And just by his response and his decorum, he don't know.
I gave him the answer. I said if we got rid of it, they never win another election. But let me ask y'all a question about this part too. Do you think that with the so do you think that they will, like, because we would have, like you said, we have to get 2/3 of the state.
2/3 to call a constitutional convention, and then you got to get 3/4 of the states to ratify it. Then you got to get the proposal, and then you got to get them to ratify.
That's never. No wonder it never happened. Now I get it. Because I was going to say, why not just have the people vote on it?
I think the last time it happened was Bill Clinton.
Okay.
That was the last time we had an amendment adopted.
So Ayanna, so for the Electoral College, isn't it used to certify the votes from the state?
From the delegates pledged their votes to the. First of all, the delegates are elected, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And then whoever gets the majority from that party. Remember, we had this discussion about the DNC and the RNC about how they can just put up whoever they want, even if they delegates say they don't want that person.
Yeah.
So the candidate gets all the pledged delegates, and then the people go in and they vote. And if the person gets the majority of the popular vote in that state, depending on the state now, some states will give half to one candidate and half to another. It's not the same in every state. Some states, you will get all the delegates. You'll get all the electoral votes. Some states, you'll get half and half. Some states, you'll get a few of them. You get to another candidate. It depends on the state. This is why we're in this nightmare. We have
Right.
50 freaking states with all of them are doing something different. All of them
How we
have
co-
different
and we got
ways
to know
of voting and counting and drawing and redistricting and giving out resources and getting resources. And listen, I don't know why. I don't know why we're like this. We shouldn't be 50 states. We should just be one big country.
and we got to know to call ourselves United States of America. Yeah, okay.
There's no way. There's no way. They had to pass a constitutional amendment just to allow citizens to have their rights recognized state to state. Like you would
Right.
go to another state and your marriage wouldn't be recognized.
Right.
That's how petty these states were.
Yes.
And there were states where people of different races could vote and women could vote. But then you go to another state, women couldn't vote, blacks couldn't vote, Indians couldn't vote, immigrants couldn't vote. It's insanity.
Very.
This place looks exactly like that picture.
It does. And I want to know who are these American people that they're talking about? Because every time we ask them, we listen to our American people, who is you talking about? I'm still trying to figure it out. Where? Who are they? Where?
I don't know, because we're from what I work. It's dusty. You know, in my line of work, and probably you, because you've traveled the world in the armed forces, you've met people from all walks of life in this country. All walks of life.
Yes.
None of us are the same.
Right.
Right.
And from state to state, we're different.
Yes.
What I do in Ohio, people ain't doing in North Carolina.
Right.
Right.
What people are doing in Pennsylvania, people ain't doing in Missouri.
Right. Which is not right. They should fix that.
Just culturally, the culture.
And it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be
It really
unique.
is.
Right.
But when it comes to government and fair representation, we
Right.
should all be on the same page.
Exactly.
It shouldn't vary from state to state. Your voting rights shouldn't vary based on the state that you live in. Your
Exactly.
reproductive rights, your housing rights,
Thank
your
you.
what else? Your representation, how many votes you get in the electoral college, how
Right.
many this, how many it shouldn't vary from state to state. The
Well, that's
quality of
based
your
on the number.
education, the quality of your health care, it shouldn't
Well,
be based on the state that you live in.
that's
Exactly.
true.
It
Even
really
education. Exactly.
But the number of the
that's
electoral
the
votes got to
country
do
we
with how
live
many
in.
people in your state. Like some kind of way it has something to do with that. But it's nerve wracking, and I really do wish. What I'm hoping is maybe this time, because I think the Democrats realize they got to go more progressive, and I think that they put in a bill about the APAC thing. They voted and they can't put it in because they don't have the majority, but they're just trying to show that they know it's an issue. I'm hoping that this time they will do things a lot differently, and maybe people will realize and give us more than 8 years. Because I feel like if we got 3 terms, at least 3 terms, we could fix a lot of the mess that he created and messed up, and we can set this country on a trajectory that maybe some of the Republicans will realize they should vote with us.
Some of the things are permanent, like the tax cuts to the
That can be overturned. We can vote that away.
Permanent.
not-
They're permanent. Some of
And-
the tax cuts from the 2017 Jobs and Tax Act were made permanent by
I
the
know.
big, beautiful bill.
I know, but I was told that we can pass legislation to get rid of it. Just put in a new one. That's what I was
Like
told.
that
I don't know
simple.
how true it is.
It is not that simple.
I know it's not simple. Nothing in this
never
country
that
is
simple in
simple.
the United States. Like we think it is, but it never, and that's because even within the Democratic representation in the House and the Senate, how many of those people are on the same page? Like
Thank
you
you.
got Fetterman on TV talking about, oh, we do need a ballroom. Oh,
He's
let's
You know,
such a
you know why
freaking
he's doing it. By the way,
turncoat.
I voted for him. Let me tell you why he's doing it. I'm gonna tell you why he's doing it. Number one, he had a brain injury. He's not the same. Secondly, he realizes he needs Republican votes to get elected. So he's doing all this hoping that they'll elect him, but I don't think he's
But
going to
that's
get
just
elected.
it, though. He didn't need them until he started losing Democrat votes.
Okay,
He didn't
got you.
need
But he did.
Republicans
I think he
until he
did get.
started
We should look up.
losing.
Can you look up how many people Republican voted for him? Because I think he did get some. Because he lived right out there where all those MAGAs are. He right there. So I think he did get quite a few of them to vote because they didn't like Dr. Oz. They realized he was just a fraud. He was just a famous TV person.
Yeah, and now Dr. Oz is on
I know with his gray hair, right?
TV telling us that helping relatives should not be a job that people use to get Medicaid benefits, like caregiving. He said that we do too much care.
What?
He said that we do too much
They must have
caregiving.
told him to say that because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you
He
can't
said
afford to work and you work helping your relative, why can't you just get a little stipend? It's always
because he was
been what
attacking the state of New York because the state of New York reimburses people, I guess, at a
Tapping
high
in.
rate for that kind of work. But yeah, there are more people in the state of New York, but
true.
also you have to think about a lot of these states have aging populations.
That
Who's
part
going
is
to come
true.
and take care of these people if it's not their family? You think they're just strangers waiting to come take care of your parents
Thank you.
and your auntie and uncles?
And guess what? With this big nasty billionaire bill, they're about to kick people out of nursing homes. So they're gonna need to get paid to survive. That's why we gotta win. I'm telling you, people don't understand how it's already on the verge of being really bad, but it's going to be worse. And we gotta win. And I'm a little nervous, but like I like what Buttermilk started. I wish she'd have finished because I would like to have seen her go from more states to see how that map situation works out. She was saying that if you have she showed in some of those states how you still will get the 2 representatives. It won't change anything.
Well, because the populations aren't changing. Like in
Okay,
Vermont,
got
their
you.
population is not increasing. Rhode Island, the population isn't increasing. It's pretty much staying the same. Although some people are starting to leave those states because of the job market.
Yeah, he
Like
screwed that up too.
New Hampshire is losing some population because of the job market.
Mm.
People are going to college, they're graduating, going to college, and then saying, "Whoop, see you later."
Yep, it's
People,
terrible. I just
Yeah, I was making the point like there are some places like Montana,
mhm.
right? Montana, or even when you asked me to look at Wyoming, I looked at Wyoming. Wyoming has like 75% Republican
Okay,
registered voters. So no matter how you slice it, you most likely gonna get. And I want to say you could find that on Ballotpedia. Ballotpedia tells you exactly how many
okay,
um Ballotpedia tells you exactly how many districts each
okay,
state has for the House, right? And I want to say Wyoming has 4, if I'm not mistaken. So no matter how you slice Wyoming up, you most likely going to get a Republican-led district
okay.
because this 75% of the people there are Republican.
Republican.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So no matter how you slice it, that's how it's going to show up.
So
But
unless they got a
when
flood of Democrat voters, that's pretty much never going to change.
correct,
Mm,
but then
gotcha.
you have places like Texas, or you have places like Florida or California, right? That
Hmm.
has 20 plus districts.
Mm-hmm.
That can be maneuvered in so many different shapes
Okay.
to make it lean one way or lean another. Based on you put in this many people in this bracket and this many people in that bracket, and making sure that you put more Republican people in your little square than and then more and less Democrats. Like, and then you end up with 30 Republican seats. When, as I said, according to the ballot history, more people vote Democrat in Texas than Republican. So
Mm,
still how we ended up with more Republican districts because of
mm-hmm.
how they're drawing the map.
Right.
Because of gerrymandering. Jerry. Jerry.
Jerry,
Gerrymandering.
Jerry,
Let's get it right.
Jerry, Jerry,
Gerrymandering.
Jerry.
Jerry.
What time are we ending? At 7?
Have we really been talking for 2 hours?
Yes, we
Yeah,
have been
we
talking
have.
for
It
2
went.
hours.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna get
So
off here
let's talk
anyway because I'm
about
gonna cook my food.
let's round this off with some solutions.
Okay.
Okay, because there's got to be something we could do about this, honey. And I hope that we have done a good job explaining.
You
I felt
have.
like it got kind of lost in the weeds about explaining the difference between gerrymandering and redistricting. Redistricting is fair and fine and is based on population and it's supposed to be done every 10 years after the official count. Gerrymandering is that off-season switcheroos based on allegedly not based on race, but to favor a particular party over another. That is unfair. It dilutes voting power and sometimes leads to racial results that, according to the Supreme Court, may not have been intended, but it's not unconstitutional.
All right, because what happens is they have a primary. They realize this district voted overwhelmingly for A or B, and it's like, oh shoot, we gotta break that up because they're getting the representation over there. So let's break this up. We're gonna move these people over here, and we're gonna move those people over there, and then move them here, and voila, they don't have no more voice.
Exactly.
Oh.
And let's be clear about why this is happening. A president called a governor of a particular state and said, "Give me 5 more seats."
Georgia. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that'd be Texas.
And honestly, it violates their own law about drawing maps. Florida violated its law. These governors are violating their own constitutions to change these maps. And I guess you could say the Virginia governor did it too, but they actually asked the people instead of
Which
asking the General Assembly. They actually asked the people.
This seems
what
so
they wanted
illegal
do.
to me what they're doing in Virginia.
Thank you, Trish.
But Virginia is one of those states where, hey, Miss Trish, you have to have a legislative session, and then an election, and then two legislative sessions, and then an election before you can call another session and redraw a map. So what they did is they said, well, the early voting had already started, so we should have been able to call a new session to adopt this amendment to redraw the map. And the court said, no, early voting does not count as the election starting. It's just early voting. And so they should not have been allowed to call the special session to adopt the amendment to redraw the maps.
So
Solutions. We already talked about one, and we talked about how difficult it is. See how that one solution, registering to vote and verifying your registration, how difficult it is for people to be able to do that. But that is one way to fight this. The fact that people are not voting means that these changes can be made and nobody's going to fight back. Well, they're not really voting anyway. We don't care. We can draw them we can ice them out. We can dilute their voting power. They're not voting anyway. We're not harming anyone because these people aren't really voting, right? They don't see the harm. But now when we talk about how difficult it is to, number one, register, because you have to have ID. All these states now have voter ID laws, except I think there's one that still does not have a strict voter ID law. It's one of those Montana with Nebraska states where you don't even have to register before. That's what it is. You don't have to register. You could just walk in and vote. But you have to have ID. Now in all the states, you have to have ID.
Let's make it difficult for them to vote, right?
It makes it difficult. We talked about that. It makes it difficult for people to vote because some people don't have their paperwork. You have to have a birth certificate. And here's the thing that I learned. You don't have to get a real ID. You could just get a regular ID. Real ID is only if you're going to be flying. Everybody obviously gets that because they think they'll be going places.
I be traveling.
Regular ID. For the real ID, you have to have, if your last name changed, you have to have proof of name change.
Which is a birth certificate.
Yes.
Marriage
or your
license.
divorce marriage papers or your legal name change papers. So
I had to bring my birth certificate, my marriage license, and my
all those
divorce
things.
degree.
But if you wanted to just get a regular ID, you only have to have proof of residency and proof that you were born in the U.S., which is a birth certificate and probably a utility bill or something. Or your passport. You can use your U.S. passport to be
Yes.
an
Right.
ID.
Which it
So,
will
So
cost people a lot of money if they don't have one.
yeah.
So
Oh,
And make
please
sure
don't
it's
get me
not expired either.
yeah.
It makes
But
sure
so
it's not
I vote
expired.
by mail
Ugh.
and when you vote by mail, they just ask for your driver's license number and I just put it in. And
And
that's
in
it for
some
me.
states, you can renew your ID online. Ohio
Right.
does allow that. Some
Okay.
states,
North
again,
Carolina allows that. Yeah.
yes.
yeah,
It used to be that you had to walk in every time you had to renew. Now you can renew online, which is
online.
very convenient and
If you
wonderful.
don't need to
Or
change any information.
Yes.
Right.
or you can go to Harris Teeter. There's a Harris Teeter in my area. There is a kiosk. You can
Oh,
go
you guys
in.
have the kiosks.
Yeah. At Harris Teeter.
Nice. They refuse to give us those in
And that's the
Ohio.
thing too, right there, Ayana. It's like, okay, it's one thing if you saying, "Hey, we just want to make sure whoever's voting is who they say they're voting." Fine, I don't have a problem with that. But
Right.
make that easier. Make that easier that we are to be able to get the documents that we need in order to prove that we are who we are. You can make that easier if it's really about just making sure we people who are who they say they are when they're voting. You make sure you make it. If you have not had a license in the last 10 years, it's free. Make sure they get that. Like there's ways to make it easier. But one of my solutions also is the next Congress, because this Congress is out the door. Okay, the next Congress,
Dang.
the next Congress pass laws that state that a state cannot redistrict within 5 years. I get it. I think 10 years is too long too. A lot can
Right.
happen in your state in 5
Right.
years. I get that.
Yes.
So
But then you don't
within
know
a
how many
5 year
people, they don't know how many people are in these districts or in their state until they do the census, right?
correct.
So are we saying we should do a census every 5 years or do like a
Well,
mini
I wouldn't say
census
that because
or
I don't even think we need the census anymore because we have birth records. We
Right.
have death records. What do we need a census for?
Right. To count the number of people
because sometimes people
People move
pass away and
pass
people have
away and they
babies.
don't
in the
and people don't
military.
know they're unalived. Or
Maybe.
sometimes people don't get an ID and so you don't know that they exist at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes the census is the first time you learn.
Well, then I'm
people
not filling
are-
out no census. You don't even know that I'm here.
I mean, I
We
it's-
gonna
it
find
just
you.
seems like. Well, here's the other thing though. The reason, remember, one of the reasons
Right? We
why.
got taxes. There's ways to figure this numbers out
But
without.
there is,
a
but
census.
remember, one of the reasons why they wanted to change the census rules was because they wanted to not allow undocumented immigrants.
That's the
Correct.
excuse they use.
Correct.
They
So
notice.
they've been trying to change the census rules, but
Yeah.
I agree with you. There should be an earlier count, but that's in the Constitution. The Constitution says every 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So
we
then
gotta
you have
amend
to
that.
pass an
We gotta amend that.
amendment.
We
Well, I
gotta
will
amend that
say
somehow,
though.
some way. So, like I said, the next Congress put forth some type of laws that said you cannot redraw maps within a 5-year period.
Eric Holder already said it. They're gonna put in some legislation to fix this mess. But you know what, guys? This is my thing. I want them to do that. I want them to fix that part. I would like to pass some voting rights, but also I think that I'm just gonna put it in the atmosphere. I hope they get this karma they deserve for the way they're treating immigrants and people that are citizens. It's disgusting. It makes me angry.
I agree. So, what more voting rights does the current Voting Rights Act not?
But what
You
did
can
they
still
cut
you can
out?
still sue for discrimination, but you have to actually prove intent.
Right. And you know, this Supreme Court, that's why we need to add some 4 seats to the Supreme Court. That's another thing we need to do.
I mean, it's still illegal. It's still unconstitutional to deny someone the right to vote based on race.
Mm-hmm.
It's still
So that's covered.
unconstitutional. It's still unconstitutional to create districts that favor a particular race.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's okay. That's
it's
covered.
And
still
party.
unconstitutional to, there was something else.
No, I don't think parties
Um,
on there vote. I think that it's just
I can't
race.
remember.
That you can
It's
draw a
just
district to
race.
favor a party.
Okay,
That's not
so this is what
unconstitutional.
we can put in voting rights. It would be nice if it said that we would have to have a separate private entity or bipartisan party group of people to draw the maps evenly. How about
Within a
that? What do you think
5 year
about that?
time. Like
Okay, but then you're telling the states how they have to draw maps, and you can't do that at the federal level. You can't tell the states how they
Wow,
have to
this is
draw
crazy. Whatever
a
we do,
map. The
they just made it so
Constitution
hard
gives
for us.
states the power over their elections. This all goes back to the Constitution.
yes.
Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
I say throw the whole thing away and start over.
I agree. Voting
The
rights and a map.
Constitution
It's
does
something
not
we
have a
talking about.
right to vote because when it was adopted, the various states did not want everyone voting.
Correct.
So they were like, we're not putting in a right to vote because we don't think everybody should vote. And it wasn't just about freed slaves voting. It was about they didn't want uneducated, poor whites voting either.
Non-land owning.
Non-land owned. You had to be highly educated. You had to have money.
Wow.
You had to have land to vote in the states. And they didn't want people who had none of those things to vote. And so they said, we're not putting in a right to vote in the U.S. Constitution. We're just going to let the states handle it. And we see how that has worked out.
Right.
Horribly, terribly, terribly.
Yes,
It's
this
on terrible.
Deirdre said they're coming with women next. I heard somebody say today that some state legislator wanted to propose that 80% of men can vote, but only 20% of women can vote. That sounds weird, but that I believe it though because they so sexist.
I mean, according to everything I'm reading, people are agreeing that very little remains of the Voting Rights Act. Like you
Yeah, I
can
agree.
sue, but you can't, there's really no way to prove intent in denying someone the right to vote based on their race or their gender or their national origin, unless they flat out said, this is why we're doing it. Unless you have some email or some trail, some paper trail or something that says
Right.
this is why we're doing it.
Well, I was
The
just
result can be that that's what happens. They said, the result doesn't matter. If they didn't
well. Listen,
intend and it just ended up being that way, then oh well, you too bad, so sad.
so look. I have MS now on Steve Cohen from Tennessee is on there. He's retiring because they drew his seat out. He's in the House. He's a Memphis representative. He's retiring because
But
they
think about it. They never wanted to have a Voting Rights Act either. So not only did they not want to have a right to vote in the Constitution, conservatives did not want to have a Voting Rights Act either because they didn't want the federal government reaching into their business and telling
right.
them who can vote and who they have to allow to vote, right? The states are
True.
like, no, we can do this. We don't need you telling us that we can't discriminate. We'll figure it out on our own. And
This just makes
some of
me
the
angry.
Supreme
I
Court
feel
have
like they
agreed.
put. I
The
think I
Supreme
feel like
Court
they
have
put their
agreed.
foot further on our necks because the thing is we got to deal with them. This is another thing I wanted to say to people. Make sure you talk about purging when you go in different rooms. Talk about early voting and talk about how you need to check your polling place in
Well,
advance.
let's mention that because
Yes.
in the state of Ohio, they passed a law that says if you haven't voted in the last presidential election, so say you haven't voted since 2024, you could be purged from the rolls. And they won't tell you. They won't tell
That's
you.
not right.
So if you didn't vote,
That
like
can go on voting
this
rights,
happened
right?
in 2024, people who did not vote in 2020 were purged from the rolls. It was something like 108. It was some ungodly number of people who didn't vote in 2020. So in 2024, they were like, okay, well, I guess you don't want to vote then. So we're just going to purge
That's
you,
crazy.
or you passed away, or maybe you moved.
They might
and
have.
we're just going to purge you.
Listen, 1 million people lost their lives because of that pandemic that he fumbled.
Right. But listen, so as our vote counts just said, something about run as a Republican. Okay. Maybe that might work in a predominantly Republican district. It might. But you still have to go out there and sell yourself.
Right.
you saying you a Republican, but talking about pro-choice. That's not gonna work. You
Right.
say you running as a Republican, and you're talking about making sure we solidify Medicare and Medicaid. That's
Right.
not gonna work. They're gonna see through that all the way. So you either got to go up there and lie about what you plan on doing,
That's true.
or you're not gonna, because you come running as a Republican in my district, you're not gonna get my vote.
I
Whether
know
you
that's
plan on
right.
switching back or not, you're not gonna get my vote because I'm not voting for the Republican.
But I'm gonna tell you what the secret
I
is,
don't know how that's
Buttermilk.
gonna work.
Let me tell you what the secret is, Buttermilk. There's a girl that lives in Texas, and she told me that she ran for a seat in the Democratic Party. They did not help her. But she said the problem with us is we never challenge red seats. We always just assume they will win. Well, I wrote the DNC immediately about it. And guess what they did? Challenge red states. And we flipped a lot of state legislative seats by challenging them. Just show up and challenge. If you lose, maybe you'll win the next time. But you got to try. How do you just say, well, we're not going to, that's just a red seat? No. All the cheating they do, we got to show up.
That's true.
So that's a good thing, and that helped us.
Well, our votes, your vote, we are appreciate you coming up here today and hanging out with our vote counts. We about to shut this on down, so we're gonna say our little closings and get on up out of here.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, because I got my kids in the background are stirring in the kitchen. They're like, we're hungry. You've been
That
on here
means
for
come
too
feed
long.
me.
Yeah,
Right.
well, allow them to eat because I don't even let them come down here to make noise when I'm doing
Okay,
this.
got you.
But
Thank you
so
for coming up.
just very, but yes, thank you so much for coming up. Your vote.
I appreciate
And
it. I'm
Bianca,
big
thank
about
you
you.
for
See my little
helping me,
thing
and
on my
Buttermilk, thank you for helping me. I appreciate you so much. And so I just wanted to quickly mention other ways we can help when you see these redistricting things happening. Protests do work. Contacting your state lawmakers helps. Remembering that redistricting is fair and okay and gerrymandering is not. Support organizations that are fighting this. There are so
Like a
many
Kennedy Project for
organizations
the
that are
People.
fighting it. I think Project for the People. I don't know what Project for the People is. Have you heard of that, Buttermilk? Somebody mentioned that in the chat.
No, they said something about Danny is really pushing it. So
Oh,
it probably is
right.
yeah.
We should have invited her. Oh man. We'll have to have her on another time. But yes, Project for the People. She talked about that on Caso's Live. We'll have to get with her to talk about that on one of our town halls because Project for the People is very important, the work that she's doing. But yeah, that's one of the organizations. The one that I mentioned with Eric Holder is one of the organizations. Obviously, the NAACP, the ACLU. There's so many organizations that are fighting back. If you see them on, if you see Danny, follow Danny Cook. I forgot what her page name is. She's like a lot of the big creators get suspended all the time on. She gets bananas. She gets bananas a lot, but follow her and
But she's
Project for
telling
the
the truth.
People. Yeah, exactly. But yes, call on Congress to pass a Voting Rights Act. Yes, it's Danny 7th. Yes. Call on Congress to pass a Voting Rights Act. We can still have a Voting Rights Act. There's nothing saying we can't have one. We can have another one that strengthens the current one we have, or that's just a completely different one. We got this one. We can get another one. We can't.
No, do you know, Ayana, the one for 1965 is like the 8th one.
Yeah. So I mean, we're
So
fighting
yes, we
to keep
definitely
this
could
one.
make another one.
We're fighting to keep this one, but we could just, because it was so hard to even get this one, and it did the most. It was landmark, and it was the most comprehensive. We could just get another one, people. We could do this all over again. We absolutely could. John Lewis, before he passed away, sponsored one. We could have the MLK voting rights bill. We could have the Dr. Zhivago voting right. It doesn't matter what you call it. The point is the same.
If you don't believe me, go just put in your Google Voting Rights Act, and I guarantee you're not just going to see the one of 1965. You're going to see the one of
Kennedy
1870
had one
something to
before.
18.
Yeah. Kennedy had one before before the one by Johnson was passed. And we had multiple civil rights acts too. We've had changes to the Civil Rights Act since it was passed. I mean, legislation, but unless it has enforcement and unless it's respected and unless it's upheld, like anytime the states can just jump in and be like, well, we don't want to do that. That's what's the point of the legislation then? Or anytime a president can go, well, I don't have to respect that.
Right.
It takes away from the meaning of it. And then there are people who will say, well, we don't need it anymore. And that's obviously not true. So lots of things we can do. Support organizations that are working to fight back on this, on gerrymandering. Remember gerrymandering. Please talk to your representatives. Talk to your representatives. If you're not doing that, if they don't hear from you, then they assume everything is fine, and they know everything is not fine, but they don't know the issues affecting their constituents. And we've said it on the show many times. A lot of the incumbents don't do town halls. They don't take phone calls. They're not reading your emails. And if they do, they're sending some form response back. So they have no idea what's going on in their districts. You have to make your voice loud and known. And at the state level, you all have seen these protests in Tennessee and Alabama and Louisiana. At the state level, people are going to their state assemblies and yelling and protesting and fighting back. I mean, we're seeing it at the state level that we haven't seen this kind of pushback at the state level in some years. So we have to push back, state and federal. We have to make sure. You know what, Butterbell? A lot of people don't know who their state representative is. They don't know who represents them in their state.
They absolutely don't.
Which is
majority of the people don't know who their state representative is.
Yeah, they have no idea. They don't even know they have one. And we've had state representative candidates on our program, right. So many of them. A lot of these offices are open, the seats are open rather, and people are running for office. You know, you want a strong candidate in there who's going to protect your rights. That's all I'm going to say about that. But do that, and please.
Before we go, who we got coming up next?
Oh gosh, Buttermel, hold on.
Our vote counts. Who we got? You got a background?
We have on the 19th. We have Elizabeth Ferris. Oh, get this. Elizabeth Ferris won her state Senate District 15 in West Virginia. She won her race. So now she's coming back to get her platform out there for the general, right? She won her seat in West Virginia, her primary race in West Virginia. So now she's coming back to talk to us, to let us know her plans for her district in West Virginia for the general election in November. This is wonderful. This is the first time we got, well, no, it's not the first time we've had a winner on, because we had somebody from Kentucky who had also won his primary, and he came on to talk about his plan going into the general election. So we have Elizabeth Ferris, West Virginia State Senate District 15 on Tuesday, May 19th at 6:00 p.m. Buttermel, your name is on this, my dear. Did you know that?
I'm yes, ma'am. I'll be ready.
Okay. So yes, we'll be back here. Sianka, you've returned.
Oh,
and
okay, you drive me down.
On let's see. Okay. On we have two on Buttermel, this yours too. At 9:00
yes,
p.m.
I'm doing a double header.
Richard, I believe it's Ojeda, North Carolina. Ojeda. Is it Ojeda?
Ojeda.
Okay. Richard Ojeda, who is running for U.S. Congressional District 9 in North Carolina. So we have a state Senate seat from West Virginia at 6:00, and then a U.S. congressional seat candidate at 9:00 from North Carolina. So if you are in one of those states, come on back.
Now I'm going to assume that Ojeda won his primary because North Carolina already had their primaries.
Otherwise, why would he be doing this?
Correct. I'm assuming Ojeda won his primary, and West Virginia, She won hers
She
too.
won hers.
So
She won
these are
hers.
people
Yeah.
who are going to be showing up on the November ballot.
Richard. Oh, yeah. Well, yes, he did. He won. So he's yeah, I'm looking at his ballotpedia.
Deidre, a little bit of both. We asked for audience participation. So if you know someone that you would like to see on our vote counts, do a town hall, you could just DM us their TikTok page. Just share their TikTok page with our DM us. I'm sorry for the, it's so safe here in DC.
Yeah.
Anyway, or candidates talk to other candidates and they will send them over to us. So it's a combination of the people working together that we find candidates.
Yes. So both of the candidates we're featuring on Tuesday are prepping for the general election. You won't want to miss it because it's heating up. It's heating up already in some states. Also, Tuesday is a big day. It's a Super Tuesday.
Yes.
We have Pennsylvania, Oregon, Idaho. We have Georgia. We have Alabama. And we have another state. We have another state.
Was it Indiana?
No. We have another state.
Let me get my papers out.
We have another. I should know what this is because I wrote the things, the spot for it.
Okay, let's see. This is May
19th.
May 19th. So you said Pennsylvania, Oregon,
Idaho, Alabama, not Tennessee.
Alabama, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky.
Kentucky. That's the one.
Kentucky.
And Kentucky. There we go. We go.
So if you are in any of those states, you have a primary coming.
Yes, on Tuesday.
Get to them polls.
If you haven't already voted, because I know some of those states have early voting, Alabama does not. So Alabama, that day is your day to vote. I know Georgia has early voting. A lot of people have already voted. We have a lot of the candidates we've had on our program have been from Georgia. We've had a gubernatorial candidate from Oregon. We've had state races from Georgia. We had a gubernatorial candidate from Georgia. I mean, we've had so many. In Kentucky, we've had Senate. We've had U.S. House. Pennsylvania, we've had local and state and U.S. So we're going to be watching all of these races. We never had it. Did we ever had someone from Idaho? I don't think we have. But we're going to be watching all of these races and probably calling some of the results while Buttermel is live. I love you.
Exactly.
I love you. We did
Say,
have,
look,
we had a
yes,
mayoral win in Georgia. Listen, have you guys seen his TikToks? I love his TikToks.
Yes.
But yes, so big day on Tuesday, 2 town halls plus a Super Tuesday for voting. If you're in those states, please vote. Do not skip the primary. Don't skip it. Don't miss it. Don't think you can sit it out. You don't want somebody else choosing for you for November. You want your strongest fighter in November. Please remember, the choice is yours. Your vote is your voice. That's your superpower. Your vote is your power. We truly mean that. We truly mean that. And Buttermel, do you have any other closing words?
I don't. It just let everybody know who our vote counts is, and we are trying to be part of the solution, and not just a bunch of rah-rah. We want to actually make sure people are informed, and as you just said, don't let somebody, put your fighter in. Put your fighter in. Don't let someone else make that decision for you. Thank y'all for coming tonight. Miss Ayana, go on and close it out.
This is OVC, Our Vote Counts, a nonpartisan movement uniting Americans from all walks of life to empower voters. We hope we have done that today. Support candidates of integrity and ensure every voice is heard. You heard some today. You heard some spicy ones. Through education, which again, we did that. Outreach, accountability, and action, We're building a stronger democracy, one informed vote at a time. We thank you for joining us for this 2.5 hour special on gerrymandering, redistricting, and voting rights. We thank you for joining us again. Remember, your vote is your power, and we will see you back here on Tuesday. And the sun is in my face. Thank you.